I tell you, this is the song everybody waits for, this particular track. And you're already glued to your radio, your television set. You have your gadgets, you are prepared for phone talk. And that is why the team is always here every night, Monday to Sunday, to bring you all information that you need to know where it concerns Liberia. And so again, let me say good evening. Welcome to Phone Talk on this beautiful evening in Liberia. Friday, last day of the month, February 2025. Let me welcome you wherever you are, whatever you are doing. We say welcome to Spoon Talk. It's time to talk, everything that concerns Liberia, what is happening in this country, around this country. It's time for our people to gather and get all the information they need to know. Incredible information, get educated, get entertained all in one, right here on Spoon Talk. And so let me say good evening on the 28th day of February. My name is Lorena Henry. I am your producer tonight. Tell you what is happening in Africa. As I wait to see you and the crew, let me say good evening. Welcome. This is your show, the People's Show, the People's Network. We are live on Spoon TV, Fabric TV, Super TV. We are live on Spoon 107.5 FM. We are also live on Spoon on YouTube. That is Spoon Talk. We say welcome wherever you are, whatever you are doing. You are all welcome. You know, so many things have been happening across Liberia, and of course, you always get all the information right here on Spoon. So let me say welcome. It's time for you to get your information. We have seen a lot of different dramas going around, but it is serious. We saw fights between police and the army, AFL soldiers. We saw police and, of course, the motorcyclists as well. They are even planning a protest this coming Monday. There has been talks about all of these activities across Liberia amongst Liberians who are so concerned about their country. So let me say welcome. You get everything you need to know plus more right here on the station. So many thanks to all of you that are relaying the show across Liberia into your counties, your villages, all shortwave stations. You are all appreciated. We know some of you, we don't know some of you, but the fact that you want your people to get credible information, that is why you relay the show. We appreciate you. The Supreme Court of Liberia has issued a writ of summons to the Minister of Finance, and Development Planning, across Tinkwehe Kafuan, and the House of Representatives Controller Emmanuel Kopi in response to a petition filed by 7 lawmakers. The summons issued by Chambers Justice Tianen Clinton Johnson directs Kafuan and Kopi to appear and file their returns on or before March 10, 2025, explaining why the writ of mandamus should not be granted. I believe there are other things you also have on your mind you want to talk about. It's better you put your calls through right now so that you get your points through before the team comes on. So call us on 0777-771075 and 0555101075. Let's hear you. Let's hear what is it that you want to talk about, that you are interested in, you want to know even before the team comes on. Call us on 0777-771075. Let's take you first. Good evening.
Good evening.
Lower your monitor, please. Okay, what's your name?
Thank you. This is the voice of Elijah Nurubunana joining from station number 6 this evening. And let me say thank you for always bringing the necessary information to our doorsteps.
You are welcome.
And my attention this evening is June.
Go ahead. Hello. Okay, 0777-771075 or 0555101075. Good evening.
Yeah, good evening.
All right. What is your name and what is on your mind? Yes.
I want to say this to our national security. You know, the government came to rescue the Liberian people. Investing in Labrador people will see our national security rules of protecting life and property. They are fighting among themselves. They scare away investors because we voted the government for investors to come in the country. Everybody cannot work in the government. So investors have to come and create jobs for other people. So when we see our national security fighting among themselves, not securing life and property, they scare away investors. They need to stop. We condemn it to the highest level.
Thank you.
Thank you for
Right, you are welcome. 077771075 055510105. Good evening.
Yes, good evening.
Yes, your name, sir?
I'm Jonathan. I was calling from Calcutta City.
Jonathan, what is on your mind?
Well, what my mind is, I'm highly disappointed. I'm a crime teacher teaching for the government. And the government promised us through the fund administrate and the civil service agency that our salary is going to be upgraded. And some of us, we are in Magini County, really. We earn bachelor degree in secondary education. Up to now, we are still taking C certificate salary. Our salary not been upgraded. Only Magini County. And I just want to Minister of Finance and the civil service director to know that what the promise of we are not getting there. And we don't want to take action so that they can say the teachers are doing this. I'll be breaking them. Let me upgrade our salary. We are still taking C certificate salary.
Thank you, sir.
Okay.
Your point is well taken. 077771075 055510105. Good evening. Good evening. All right, let's take this person. Good evening.
Hello, Nancy.
You're live on the show. What is your name and what is on your mind?
Thank you so much, Nancy. My name is George Maba from GSC Road, District 6, Moscow County, Nancy. I appreciate so much for this topic this afternoon. It's on my mind. I want to tell President Barker, thank you for his hard working. Don't listen to anybody, President Barker. Do your work. And number two, the thing I'm trying to say, the government officials there are corrupt, President Barker. Please, what he appointed, those people he appointed, President Barker, make sure you always told us a dream, the captain, no business as you should, President Barker. Please check on those people you appointed. Make sure who want the government to support because people mocking at all laughing out they say that the party, they play and that the president is put them in power, they're making a shame. So President Barker, I saw George Miller from GSA will give you camp. We voted for you family help movement. We have a family help went to your we said that we stop. But I know you don't forget about it, but one will be developed. They still will see other country. Other country we can go there. The poor country have because they pass through a lot of things. Before you see that country develop, you see our government official going Ghana, Africa, tell you whatever because the post struggle before that country develop.
Thank you, sir. 077771075 or 055510107. Good evening. What is your name, sir?
I'm Charles in a full of people. You agree, right? Okay.
Yeah.
I'm Charles in a full of people. Okay, what on my mind have to do with on the great on the spring show. We many for school we don't have to agree. But last I don't think green or we have to the police director Greg Como. Okay, he keep on sitting at the police director all reaching and not the police director this guy is going to a fight. If a police personnel in the army getting a fight, I think the house is going to take care of it. But instead, he was just on ground last night. It was not good at all. And the second issue, talking to just in the 1 minimum. Lawmakers, government officials making a lot of money in the country per month. How can women in this suffering country make 50,000 months? Just look at it. Women 50,000, people have been making 30,000. And yet, they're not here at the University of Liberia. They're not good toilet facility. You have to go in the business. Can't you just feel like how much money you see for yourself? It's there. Let the government pass money forward. Let the 50,000 per month. You want to go in the business era. Thank you for the show.
All right. 077771075 05551101075. Call and be on the show. Express what is on your mind. All right. 077771075 05551101075. Good evening.
Good evening.
Yes, your name, sir.
I'm January from 540, Congo Town.
What is on your mind?
What on my mind is about this legislative, the House of Representatives election.
Mm-hmm.
The election they had a few days about the ECOWAS business. I don't know whether they listen to Edison Snow and they have and the ECOWAS will not accept those people who are electing. ECOWAS have people there who are representing Liberia and they need to be there for 6 or the year that they are there for. I don't know where they are selling this thing. So here they have gone and elected some people and they will be going there. I don't know how to do the thing yet.
Thank you. All right.
That do the thing the right way. They shouldn't be doing mistake. If you put the money into ECOWAS, it'll be a big shame.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
077771075 05551101075. Call and be live right here on Spoon Talk, your favorite program. Good evening.
Yeah, good evening.
What is your name?
I'm Aaron calling from UNCHA.
What is on your mind?
The thing is, my mind is about the police, the thing they carry on in this country.
What are they carrying on, sir?
Beating motorball boys, beating AFL, beating immigration is getting all of things. And we are asking those leaders that are in power to put their foot down and see about it before the country change to different things.
All right.
Because the motorball boys are lesson. They don't be able to buy helmet, they do everything they could do. They can run in the community and generate money. Those men are family men. There are family people down there. So if they can put any measure in place that those people would guard them for them to go on with and see their family, that would be fine.
Thank you.
But those people will just see people on motorbike, they will not even ask questions, they will just join the bill. Look at the one that happened today between the immigration man. How will you see security men? You will not ask questions, you will just join and beat them. Those people, they are citizens. Things can be going on like this in the country.
All right, sir.
And the general get to the phone says on every radio station. And President Boga not even listening to it. The vice president not even listening. Nobody listening to it. And we think to different things now that people be crying around here again. We want it. We want it.
Thank you, sir. Your message is well taken, well received. Good evening.
Good evening.
Yeah, you're live on the show.
Thank you. This is the boss of Elijah New and I joined the conversation with you number 6 this evening, like I said. And let me say thank you for always affording us the opportunity to speak our mind. And my attention is tuned to the police activities this evening in our country. Frankly speaking, our police or our security personnel need to act professional.
When you say security personnel, are you only talking about the police or police, army, everybody? I'm
speaking of the entire security apparatus. So they have to conduct themselves in the most civilized manner. Frankly speaking, it is very simple to see security apparatus going against each other in the street, and citizens are cheering. I think it is a very embarrassment, and we have to change our behavior and act civilized in this present dispensation. Thank you for the opportunity that put at me.
All right, we should be civilized people. That's what you are saying. 077771075 05551101075. Good evening. All right. Good evening.
Yes. How are you?
I'm okay. What is your name? Where are you calling from, sir?
I'm calling from my Give County. Concession. I am a volunteer teacher, just to serve as a reminder to the government. Just my brother that came to rescue us, to please help us. We are being given identification as a volunteer teachers. Please, we are asking him to please employ us so that at least we can be able to wash our clothes, we can be able to do things for our family too. It's not easy. The country is very hard. We are teaching, doing lesson planning, teaching 11 subjects, and all of you. Please let it help us.
Okay, sir. Thank you for being on the show. We also want to welcome all of those on watching us via YouTube and our social media handles. We welcome you. Please share the show. Share the show in all of your various groups. Share the show with your friends on your platforms. Invite many people that you can. It's time to get all credible information that you need right here on Spoon Talk. Good evening. Good evening.
Hello?
Yes, you're live on the show. What is your name?
Hello?
Sir, you are live on the show. Good evening. 077771075 05551010075. What is on your mind that you want to talk about? This is your chance. Good evening.
Good evening, my sister.
Yeah, welcome to the show, Spoon Talk, the people's show. What's your name and what is on your mind?
This is Gift. I'm calling from the Bourgeois Island.
Gift?
Yeah.
That's your name, Gift?
Yes.
What is on your mind, Gift?
Oh, thank you. On my mind, I'm going to say thanks to the governor and his team.
Which governor?
Rawat here. They are doing extremely well to the borough. I mean, they are collecting the waste. There are a lot of things they are doing in the borough. All of them volunteer stuff. They are not getting paid. But I hope that the president will see the world of Rawat here and for other people at least to be getting little things for their family. At least to be washing their little clothes and be sending their children to school. Because I see the women, the boys, and those guys, they are always on the street every day and night to sweep the area and collect all the debt. And even tomorrow morning, when we come here, you will see it for yourself. You don't need rocket scientists to tell you that. Even he is there can be. They are collecting the debt every day God made. So I want to see me and to empower him to be able to do more. Thank you very much.
You're welcome, sir. 077771075. Let me take two more callers so that we welcome some of our viewers. They are there watching. They are always there. Wow, lawyer monitor, please.
Hello?
Yes, what is your name? Where are you calling from?
My name is Mama Keita. Calling for social community.
Mr. Keita, what is on your mind?
Yeah, what's on my mind is this. I just want for our government to bring job for we the people. And secondly, our lawmaker, they must do right for us in this country.
Okay.
Can you imagine, sister, the contract, the United Nations president, the American president, they remind, they talk what she talk against really Liberian. Liberian people must go back home. They are horse what the point. That will go repay it. It's so shameful, really. You must understand ourselves in this country.
Thank you, sir.
That will come and bring job for us.
All right, thank you. CEO, welcome. Should I take more calls?
Yeah, we got time. How you doing, Lorena?
Good evening, sir. Welcome.
Good evening, Mama. Let's take more calls. We still got about 5 more minutes left, and I'm trying to upload the programs and videos, picture, everything. So go ahead.
Okay, sir. Okay, yes, so 077771075 05551010075.
Hello?
Yes.
Yeah, I'm from but it's fine.
All right. What's on your mind? You're live on the show. Yes. Good evening. What is on your mind?
People have been drawn to the disrespect for the rule of law by the current administration.
Mm-hmm.
And this is one of the major reasons that caused the 14-year freedom of wrestling in Republic like Nigeria, when you know that there were a lot of things for the rule of law. People were scared with injustice, and these are the things that caused the violence, the civil conflict in Nigeria, and lives were lost, properties were damaged, and today we can see that Baka is firmly engaged into the disrespect of the rule of law, so that the cover is removed without law proceedings today. So get an advisor. That one do my attention to their call to make it as an advisor. If we don't just to give you a those who are not uniform. But those are the same reasons that God will do. So we got to be safe from those also.
Thank you very much. 077771075. Good evening.
Good evening.
You're live on the show. What is your name?
My name is Emmanuel Mentor, called East Island Community.
Go ahead, Emmanuel.
Okay. What on my mind tonight is we are appealing to the president of the Republic of Liberia, Honorable Joseph Imam Boakai, to please allow the motorcyclists that have registered to all the companies in Liberia to run in the main street of Monserrato County. Please take the ban from them so that they will be able to make money. Because these people, they are citizens of the country. They are people who hail from whom motorcyclists have many, family in this country. We have to tell the company who producing the motorbike, say, thank you for taking job to my people.
Thank you. All right. So 077771075, 05551011075. Good evening. Good evening. You're live on the show. What is your name? All right. We'll take another caller. Good evening.
Hello.
Yeah, welcome to Spoon Talk.
Yeah.
What's on your mind, sir?
Yeah, my is a gossip job. What is on my mind tonight? I'm calling from the Dubois Baton. What is on my mind tonight is about the motorcyclist issue along with the national police. I'm not talking about the AFL and the police. The motorcyclists and the Liberia National Police, we all have to be careful. What I'm trying to say here is I'm a living witness. I've witnessed a situation. I've been in the traffic before. I understand why it takes to be a traffic runner. For example, to be a motorbike rider, to be a taxi driver, or whatever situation you try to navigate into the day to find a delivery. But where in this world, I've seen this, a police officer with a uniform will just come down from a car just because he's in a police uniform, no badge number, no identity, nothing, you don't know his name. They just take the motorbike from you and tell you, say, get them in front of me to Asmon Street, the very day that situation I say for one day to that particular Slaway Hill. A lot of motorbike guys are not passing around with their documents in their hand, they cannot locate their back. Police may take it from you, they telling you where they carry it. And so new bikes are getting missing. Is that also fair? I'm one of those who are not in favor of motorcycle flying. That means Tottenham Boulevard. But that doesn't mean we should take advantage of these people. These people, they post susu, they do everything at the end of the day so that they can have their money and do business. For any reason, we don't want to let you collect the motorbike. Let the motorbike be seen to another point. But you take the bike, they cannot locate the bike. People pass here now with document in their hand looking for their motorbike, they can't find it. Is that being fair? So I want to believe that there's criminals in the police also that cannot be identified, and this is impersonation. These are some of the things that raising tension in the country. The government got to be careful.
Thank you.
Now I know about it that there's a plain protest that's all becoming on Monday. This thing we're talking here, we're just going to get the citizens confused. It's not right. So the police have to be very professional. What police, they are not professional. That's what giving us hard time. They are very patient. They are not trained to the level.
Thank you, sir.
And if we're not careful, this thing will result into something different.
All right, 077771075, 05551011075. Good evening. Good evening. You're live on the show. Good evening.
Hello?
So you're live on Spoon Talk. What is your name?
Hello?
Good evening. You are live.
Yeah, my name is Robert Stewart. I'm calling from my Semateka residence.
Robert, what is on your mind?
Yeah, what is on my mind to do with this American king police director, Federico Montoya? Why is happening in this country? The country is very lawless on this police director. God forbid anything could happen in the country, the police director will be responsible because the country is lawless to the extent every time you put radio on the police, they're not stopping, immigration will be stopping, immigration not stopping, DEA will be stopping. and the security advisor on a great promo need to slow down small and do citizen engagement with the citizen, the police and the citizen back together because when everywhere the citizens are close to the police and they get respect the policemen can arrest them, they will just be lawless and then the police do the useful and then that is going so police are got to put it together and put a certain order and then see how the public can do better.
Thank you. All right, 077771075 05551010075. You have the opportunity to be live, express your views, what is on your mind, what is it you want to talk about. Is it something political, social, economical, whatever it is? This is your chance to voice it out. Good evening.
Good evening. Good evening. How you doing?
What is your name, sir?
My name is Moses Tuasonya. I'm calling you from Tuporo. My brother, the major thing on everybody's mind right now is the issue with the police, the motorcyclists. For me, my brother, honestly, the police have been brutal against cyclists, even taxi drivers. So, if the police came and the guys want to plow the main street, buy a helmet, get a better jacket. Now the guys did. Because the riot occurred, in fact, I was to EW Junction on the day this riot occurred. Police and the motorcyclists that were not aware were being arrested. Okay? So, if taxi driver have problem with police tomorrow, you will say all the taxis should park? No. The police, in fact, the police said when you see the traffic, police, I wonder if they were on the killing. Only spend huge money, so I want for the police to do an entire check in that database to see who they are really police officers government pay. We got a lot of disgruntled people getting the traffic, getting uniforms and one another to explore drivers and the cyclists.
Thank you.
Yes.
All right, so we'll take more calls. 077771075.
Just take 5 more, Lorena, and we'll start the show.
Need to be checked in too.
All right, Lorena.
What is your name?
Go ahead. Hello?
Emmanuel, you are live. Go ahead, please.
Yeah. What is the matter of the news? Our main part is business. As I see this, I want to see them now. Somebody me Papa when you face it, I can't have you. Because I feel like the rest of my father carry I have father, I check schedule, I need to not back. I have to tell you everything. And then if I want to tell you, I get to my father from another morning, we're going to put the chemical food. Man, that's my subject to discuss it.
Somebody sees your bag?
Yeah, we see my bag, put the paper, and if shit, I probably, like a father, but it's never, they say, I can't even to father. And so I follow the guy, like the only side, like the only other to the power of Woody. So I took a bag, I can't follow, me follow the father, me follow the stage, I see it. And my power, I tell you, if I hit the park, I want to go to school with you, if I go to school with you, you know, about S, I said it, not discuss it.
Thank you for being on the show. Good evening. Good evening. You're live on the show. Good evening. What is your name?
Yeah, good evening. How are you, madam? This is Adama Kanya, Tony from Kuala.
All right, sir. Go ahead.
Yeah, madam, my talking point now I go to the CEO and Madam Reggie Singh, our man. Madam, I always call me the only thing because none of the government now is making things happen. The only thing straight on because I hate the 1 meeting. And you empower me for Black Party. I'm not going to school. My daughter's school building so not big and just with tears are coming from my eye because when you see what people going to school, you start crying. And I got money, so better be doing something. I don't want for him to say government. Let's just empower me. I can't even make Black Party. Maybe he himself we can die 1 billion when you come to me. But the only thing I ask you, at least, you're not owing me anything. But at least you're telling my daughter go to school. I'm taking you. Like, the only talking point, girl. Take on empower me. Like, empower me, empower me, not empower me. I'll fly you one day. Okay. Thank you.
I tell you, 077771075, 05551010075.
Hello?
Good evening. You're live on the show.
How you doing?
I'm okay. What is your name?
I'm George Fanny.
George, welcome to Spoon Talk. What's on your mind?
Okay, what's on my mind is that we see.
Hello? Right, that line went really bad. Good evening. Good evening, you live on the show. What is your name? Where are you calling us from? You live on the show, sir.
Yeah, I'm Russell Brady Peters, and I do join you on my conference with Patrick.
All right, go ahead.
Well, quickly, I would like to speak the issue of the police and that of the motorcyclists of the country.
Okay.
Yeah, the police need to be professional, and that's the reason why they are paid with the taxpayer money, the liability for money. So they need to be professional. They take them to the academy for training, and when they come out, they need to be professional in the way they do things. And that was the motorcyclists. The motorcyclists are also born in violence in the country, more especially whenever there is an accident issue in the country, we always go about causing violence. Training cars, when there is an accident, how to leave the issue with the police, the security, to take control of it instead of taking control of yourself.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, 077771075 05551101075. Good evening.
Hello.
Yes, what is your name? Where are you calling us from? What's on your mind?
I'm Augustine Esqualo. I'm calling from the Bonaparte community. What on my mind is tell a door, then I tell a boom. If you want for the boom, you're telling the door not to eat a boom, tell a boom not to cement. Okay, it is true. Myself, I'm a motorcycle. You understand me? Police people get their own thing they can do. But there are some things that we, the motorcycle, can do to the police. It's like we're provoking the police to anger us. You can't, if the policeman says don't pass here, you don't have to pass there. The law says don't go there. The reason just come on. Don't go there. You know the reason why the tell you don't go there. Okay. For the motorcycle, take it as an opportunity to intimidate the police. Then at the end result, then one can also say, oh, yeah, the police people do they want to, or it is true. Okay, now the thing the accident that took place to that particular slave area there. Okay, the policeman tell you say park your motorbike. Your duty is to park your motorbike and get from on the motorbike as a man for a charges. But you are there challenging the motorbike, the policeman. Okay, when challenging the policeman, the accident took place, and then the policeman or something. Then you went to it. Your motorcycle now was to slip, bossing the people put into all kind of things in the motorcycle, all those things. What are you law now? You're going to tell the people say you never just say what is just when you're already taking law?
Are you a motorcyclist?
Yeah. I'm a motorcyclist. I ride motorbike. I jam my knee. I call myself is poor in a car. So I call a motorcyclist because my me poor in a car. I just a phone me. As soon as you put poor in a car, poor in a car. Tell her that because these are the things that we do to get money. You have to make fun. You get money on the traffic. You understand it? So if you do those things, there are some things that they tell you, then they tell you. The next agenda here is our CEO. I've been praying to God to get online. The CEO tone has changed in a way that the way you can talk. You know, the party people on the land, they want to talk. They just call them account when they interrupt them, they pull them off the land. If the citizen want to talk, you get them motion. If the station are trying to be an opposition station, so listen or you attempt because we want it to be balanced. In the conversation that they are balanced, you okay FM. Everybody running behind okay FM because okay FM is balanced. But so you have to get a chance to the panel, you have to talk and make that point.
Thank you.
You see it? Thank you.
Right, that's why this is the People's Station. We're giving you the chance now to make your own point. 077771075 05551101075. They say talk your own and let the next person talk their own. Good evening.
Yeah, go ahead.
What is your name? Where are you calling us from?
I'm so good. Calling from Japan.
Welcome to the Spoon Talk. What's on your mind?
Yeah, thank you. What is on my mind? It has to do with some friend and I'm calling on a radio station.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we agree. Joseph Baga is the president, but it doesn't mean he is the problem in the whole war. And that was what I run out. So, but sometimes we don't put a blame on God because God says everything you do, good or bad, you should put a blame on Him. Oh, can put a individual when I mean, sir. Well, going to go to for him to see tomorrow. Brother, sometimes pull a blame go help us. You tell them to as a man, so what the begging that boom or do one for you. Sometimes you hustle for yourself. Don't just say that everybody hustling. Down to the government, the president is hustling. Yeah, thank you. That's what I'm going to say.
All right. Okay. He says everybody is hustling. Even President Bwaka is hustling for the country. So get out, and hustle. Good evening.
Yeah, Mama, how are you?
So
How are you, Mama?
Spoon Talk. Welcome to Spoon Talk.
Hello, how are you?
You're live on the show. Yes, good evening. You're live, sir.
Mama, I mean, I want to ask you, the person, I hear you say the person say, everybody my bag on register. If the president says, everybody my bag on, then with the president, we are saying that everybody my city, or the president will be bad. Everybody my bag on to defend himself.
Okay.
Mama, nobody hate the government. Nobody hate the government. We want for the government to succeed. But the same station made the government to win. State now power pointing to the government. State still want for the government to succeed. But President Joseph Boakai, all the people in the point government, all the ministers there, they are stealing every day. They steal the country money, steal the country money, they steal the country money. And you get the action. Now you show the president in charge. The president is showing the one controlling the country now. Because if president is in charge, they put talking about stealing the country money. Every day they stealing the country money. Why the president get the action? And the country are bleeding. Every day the country bleeding, Mama. Mama just can't do that way. You can't see the street. You can't see how the young get there. So we're not pushing with balance. The government now increase the hardship over every day. And the public can listen to all. Mama, they didn't have to talk.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome. 077771075. You have a lot of chance to call tonight. 055510107.
Can you hear me? Lorena, are you hearing me?
Hello?
Yes, you're live on the show. What is your name?
Moise to Peace Island. I just want to talk on the problem between the police and the army. I was right in front of Musu Sport. The taxi were coming and the police car, they are peacocking and crash in front of the taxi. But I was standing looking at it. When they put the army man there, the man on the floor, he was standing. I had to get in his car, they drove it right in front of Peace Island Junction. And the army man walked behind it. Like how I left them there, I started going, but I'm really low. I'm really happening between the police and the army tonight. That what happened?
Tonight,
not too long. I still working, going to my house. Just left them go there. That what happened tonight? I said, that's not what happened. And the army man just four hands standing looking at it.
okay. Thank you.
All right.
Okay.
Lorena, can you hear me?
Yes, sir. Clearly.
Yeah. We will start the show shortly. I was trying to upload all the different videos. Lorena, listen to the people it's concerning.
Yeah.
The police, the army, the pempen rider, the keke rider, the Kembo. I mean, it's crazy. And we got just from today, almost 4 different videos. It just, who's in control of the national security? Who's in control of the Liberia National Police? I mean, Gregor Kuma his hands are tied. We got a lot to discuss tonight. We have everybody, Gibson, Jerry coming on. We have Ford Fumbler coming to talk about the concession agreement. We have the team coming on to discuss issue Paul Kennedy, the birthday boy. Councilor Clinton to talk about the Samuel Twe, decisions that were put out today from the court. You remember Samuel Twe? If you get that video found it, we'll talk about Samuel Twe today. I think Arthur Johnson is going out, but again, the process will continue. We're talking about Liberia in a whole different way. What's going on with our country? We get the good, the bad, the ugly. And we'll talk about Julius Sele, S-E-L-E. What's going on with Julius and Liz? I don't know whether you follow that story. You know this guy, Julius Sele, you know, the allegation that 675,000 just been spent. We will have a full discussion on this. It's on the newspaper. This assignment is on this newspaper. 675,000. What's going on? Why everybody is so loving that before the guys get here, right? Why everybody think that it's okay that they can jump into the country money and eat it and go free? I know you would talk your own on that, Lorena, but it's scaring. It's scaring that everybody, without fear, they can yet eat the country money, and they want to do more. Without fear, they will eat the country money. So, you don't say, my man, but Senator, my man, why you can't call me? Let's talk. No, I can't call you. You are free to come on the show, by the way. Like this morning, or Jeremy Pierre and myself, and you know, we had a back and forth this morning. That's my friend, you know. He's in Basel right now. I say, my man, don't speak to me for 3 days. He said, why I shouldn't speak to you? I said, no, don't speak to me for 3 days. Why only 3 days? I know my reason why only 3 days. You know, because after 3 days, I will get in my church program, fasting and praying. So right now, I can do what I got to do. Then 3 days, you know, I can go to God and say, God, forgive me. But, folks, I want to say to you, Lorena, it's bad in our country. Look at Samuel 12 stays sweating. I love this picture of Samuel 12. And the court decision today, and the video of Arthur Johnson coming to say his own. You know, Arthur Johnson, I could do, man, but he and myself have our own issue, but he's cool. I got no problem with him. So we want to ask the Liberian people, is it time for a third option here? That CDC fail you, Unity Party is failing you. What's the option now? Are we going back again, Lorena, into the CDC and Unity Party 2029? Then I want us to talk a little more about Nema County election. I heard that Sister Edith Gunglewe is jumping in this race against Samuel Koga and other people. And don't forget, Musa Ability is having his party convention. Musa Ability party belong to who? Who that party going to, Lorena? I know you don't want to tell me. Lorena, I know you know. I see Wanto T Wanto. Who get Wanto T Wanto the link? Why is he in the back? He's coming on, my people. They say the being get shot more. He coming on. Wanto T Wanto will join us today. I want to say to all of you, man, you know, when you are down, keep on fighting. And I'm also happy that Ford Fumbler is coming to talk about the bond mine concessions and all the concessions agreement, because he's the chairman on concession. So he's coming to talk. But you know what? Dr. Richardson is off today. She's not here. Glendy is somewhere in Minnesota. I don't know what she's doing there, but she's not going to join us from Minnesota. I told Glendy you can only join us from Maryland. If you travel outside Maryland, you can join us. So she's not joining us today, Lorena.
Wow.
I mean, how you look at me? So is that a bad thing when I tell you can only join us from? Huh?
So no other female will be here tonight.
Oh, you scared? Are you scared for nursing? Oh, you looking for back up? I beg you. You scared for Nelson? I beg you. So there's an issue with this thing, and you know, we discussed it yesterday. We'll jump into it today. Who's going to the ECOWAS Parliament? Some people say it's DOA. It's there on the rapper. I don't know how true it is. But our big takeaway today is the list bus. This guy, Julius Sele. People giving me all kind of information on him. I'm going to be speaking with someone from Lofa County, Vojaman. I'm going to call the person. We're going to show you the different breakdown. I know Martin Cody is running with this story. Cash expenditure for the legislative support project operational funds. And we have other document that I want to pull back a little bit. You see this document that Judah said he is asking for 675,500 United States dollars though. 12T12. How you doing today, my friend? How are you?
I'm good, Chief. How are you? It's a great privilege being back. I stole the link.
Yeah, how you got a link? I mean, Lorena sent you the link?
I mysteriously hacked the link now.
So, ladies and gentlemen, 12T12 hacked our system and got the link. I'm going to ask him to stay because he already in. But I want to say that I don't know. We have to change our system. I'm suspecting Good Day sending the link to him, or maybe Damo Slangard or Nelson Colette. I don't know who brought Lorena, you send the link to 12T12. How did he get here?
No, sir, I didn't.
Okay, we'll leave that one with God, and we will spare 12T12 tonight. But it's good to see you, my friend. How you been so far?
Good to see you. It's been really great. Really, really incredible. Just been school, but everything is going well.
It's really good to see you, and thank God you're still doing what you do best, going to school. We're going to have a full blast tonight, having a great show. I want to say a lot is happening. Everybody's so confused. Listen, I got 4 different videos of police brutality, seizing on motorbike. You know, police saying that they can get tired. They would beat people. They get stakes in their hands. They get pepper spray. Some of them carry arms and ammunition all over. Liberia police have turned to be, they have an increase in police brutality. There is no easy way to say this, Wanto. A complete increase in police brutality. You can talk about the system need to be transformed. People say, well, logistically, police is down. People talking from different angle, but the stress in the system, the stress is of all-time high.
Sure.
If police start beating somebody in front City Hall, police beating somebody on ELW Junction, getting involved with immigration officer, getting involved with the AFL, and everybody hearing this news.
Sure.
So it's an all-time high system of increased police stress. But it's good to have you. Let me hear you a few seconds, and then we'll bring in Clinton. We'll get to start the show. We got about 6 minutes to talk Tabata. We got only 6 minutes to talk Tabata. So let me hear you real quick. Welcome to the show.
The interesting thing, CEO, is that there is also a geopolitical threat, because if you have a situation where the police and the AFL are in conflict in a fragile security sector like Liberia, it poses a lot of risks. The second thing is, beyond just that, I've had issue with some of the police projects. I don't know if you know about the famous police project, the CCTV booth that was built.
Broke it down.
Yeah, you know, the funny thing is that the CCTV booth was built to capture crime, and even the vandalizer who vandalized the entire CCTV booth have not been brought to justice up to now. So over 35,000 of taxpayers' fund was used for that project. So it's very worrisome. In fact, there's no accountability, and the police is yet to revisit that. But what is interesting here is that some of the other policies of the police, I think that there's been lack of empathy. If you look at a country with extreme unemployment rate, and you are saying motorcyclists should not drive on the street to make ends meet, and you don't have an alternative. In fact, the only alternative for employment where the government produced recently was producing, I think they said, young people and graduates who got BSc will go sweep and clean on the street, which is completely hypocritical. So the society is extremely unemployed, and you are saying motorcyclists should not.
No, my thing is that Wanto, let's welcome our counselor on the show. You know, we spend a lot of money to send the guy to school. Counselor Gamale Clinton, and he got to be paying back because it was a big GoFundMe program to contribute to his education. Like we did one to, and I think Wanto is doing extremely well. But we want to welcome our brother, Counselor Clinton. How you doing, sir?
I am very, very good, Tantan. Good to be back.
It's always good having you. I have my own takeaway on this whole thing, and we receive information that the Justice Ministry have sent the motorcyclists to the Liberia National Police as to their planned protest schedule for next week. That's a whole big thing again about to happen. All right, this thing about police and the people, community policing. All right, and that's where you come in. Clinton is getting scared by the minute the president have not spoken. Gregory Coleman is on the hush hush. The chief of staff is on the hush hush. The justice minister is not speaking. Who the hell going to speak? Why they are not speaking? So I want us to ask the Liberian people question. Who's in control of the country? People beating on individuals, killing people. What the hell people not speaking? The senators have not called on the national security team for a hearing. The House of Representatives, they have not called. Where are the leaders of the country? Everybody must die before somebody speak. I mean, senators are not calling for hearing. Representative leadership not calling for hearing. You got a justice ministry, they are muted and continue to be mute. You got Gregory Como just chilling. You got Samuel Kofi Woods, he just in his own mood. You have Chief of Staff Colette, he doesn't know what he's doing. Defense Minister is quiet. I'm hearing Prince Johnson threatening people and say if you put them on the street, we'll deal with them. They are charging NSA now for, torturing. I mean, where is President Bwaka in Bapolu or Bomi County that he's not speaking to these things? It been over 48 hours, right, Wanto? Said the police and the army got into the serious problem. The country was on the lockdown. The people were chanting, we want army, we want army. So nobody's speaking. Emmanuel Fafley, my friend, leave me alone, Emmanuel. Nobody's speaking. So how are we going to now, Clinton, before we go to, I want to talk to me here. Why no one speaking? Are they afraid? Is there nothing to say, Clinton?
Well, I mean, this is how the government has been since its inception. The government has not been speaking to any of the issues. This has been a quiet government, a quiet president, just watching things as they unfold. It takes a lot of talking, especially on this media, for the government to move, move a little bit. So this is not strange. And I'm particularly concerned about the issues with the AFL and the police. Like want to say that it just does not have national security implication. It does have regional implication as well, given the volatility of the the Mono River Union. But again, yeah, you have a government, yeah, you have president, yeah, you have. I read the press release from the army. It's kind of sickening that it's one of those things. What they are trying to do is to have meetings and just.
Let me ask you a question, Clinton. Let me ask you, right? Clinton, I gotta ask you this before we go to our brother Wanto. Yeah, I gotta ask you this. It's the government. It's the government feel that not speaking is the only best thing right now. I'm not talking about the AFL put up 3-4 paragraph of press statement out, or Jeremy Pierre, who is my friend, put on his own press statement, or the Labrador National Police. But holistically, well, in an advanced country, you will see the chief of staff, the commissioner for the police, and the mayor for that city, or the governor for that state, coming together to speak and address the issue with the justice minister. Why are these people going in a corner and none of them saying anything?
Because it's the things that then these people feel they are not accountable to Liberian people. They don't have to listen to, they don't have to say anything. They don't have to do anything. They just do as they please. And this government, like I said before, has not been a government that listens. This government has just been a government that carry on. You talk about corruption all day, every day, and the president doesn't move. The government doesn't move. This is this situation. Where in the world, what part of this world is Gregory Coleman living? You know, I'm 3,000 miles away, and I can see every day. I'm watching on Facebook. You're seeing these police people with sticks in their hand. They have rottens in the street. What kind of Walling police force is just standing on the road with rottens? And Gregor Coleman is telling me that he can see these police people. He can see, you know, he's not seeing any all these police people with rottens. Like, what kind of
is that rotten? Are we in school now?
Yeah,
Corporal punishment. What is going on? What actually want to? Are you in Liberia?
No, I'm currently. I just left Liberia a few months ago.
Okay, so what actually happened with Gregory Coleman and the national security leadership?
I think in several ways, right? Like Clinton said, CEO is concerning. The point here is that the leadership need to be able to be aware of this issue and take urgent matters in their hand. Because what we're seeing here is one, there's a geopolitical threat. Liberia is extremely unsafe. We have a very fragile security sector. And this is given the last time we were on area, we're talking about, I think the last time I appeared, we spoke about the security threat with foreigner, where the police were caught directly, armed robbing a specific foreigner. We don't know how far that case have gone yet. So there is robbery, there is increasing fragility, and you have a security risk now between two major, security apparatus, the AFL and the police. There's no statement from the police. There's no follow-up on it. And what we saw there on the street was extremely radical. There is ego. Maybe we might say there is an increasing raise of ego between the police and the AFL, where the police there's disrespect to our police force, there's disrespect to the AFL force. Conflict mechanism is right in this case. The president is quiet. The Ministry of Justice, the Ministry of Defense, everyone is quiet. If this escalates, we definitely will have a country that is completely on a security race. So what is very concerning, like you said, Stanton. So what I find here is that who is leading this country? Is the president aware of this situation? Are people briefing him on security, day-to-day security, issues in Liberia?
So are you saying that somebody just saying, well, leave President Baka alone, getting involved, engaged in opening water faucet, take him to Buffalo, let you walk through the hospital, keep him away from these media lies when you talk about
the press secretary said that the president don't really listen to radio or read newspaper.
But you know Kuda playing game. The president is informed. I strongly doubt that the president is away from the current issue in the country. If not, then we are in a serious problem.
That's exactly what it is. That's exactly what it is.
There should be no way. And guys, Marina, you in Liberia, right? I want to get you involved because I want us to go to the phone line. Why the government is not speaking? I mean, we're gonna get into the show with all of our documents and every topic today. But why is the government not speaking on police, on increased police brutality? Go to Ukraine town, they would beat them, and nobody questioning the police. They take your motorbike for you, nobody question them. They take your money, they take everything away from you, nobody question them. There is no redress. You go over now to ELW Junction, you go to the bypass, you go anywhere. Somebody will just wear police uniform, collect a friend police uniform and wear it and say I'm officer X, Y, and Z when pull rat in their hand and go stop car and take money. It's like during the war. Governor Clinton, during the war, you could see every different police officer on the street collecting money. They would just do the hell of this. They just do the hell of this. And me and my pop. No. Let me tell some story. I beg you, let me hold it back. They just, listen, the only thing they pray, the police commissioner shouldn't see them. Right? They can pull fake, listen, they were impossible to be police officer. And they will get on the road, 2, 3 of them. And when you come in, they just do the hell like this. You park your car, you get in the later, you gone. Where is President Boya? So President Boya says that's the problem. I put Gregory Coleman in charge. But where is Gregory Coleman? I'm asking Liberia people, what's going on? This is not a joke, folks. What's actually going on with our country? The police, the Army Chief of Staff said they were disgruntled AFL officer. If you have this disgruntled AFL officer in your midst, that's a problem.
Well, but if the officers are disgruntled, I don't know how long it's going to take to identify these officers. There are a lot of videos, so it shouldn't take long. We should be announcing charges.
You know what I'm saying, Governor? If you have this disgruntled officer with gun in the Liberia Armed Forces, we are in a serious problem.
Sure. 100%.
Look, 100%. It is a serious problem. And I said this thing, people were taking this with joke. These military people brought out APC on the streets of Monrovia. The military does not move in peacetime without the express authorization of the president in that kind of battle readiness. So for any commander anywhere sitting to believe that they can put ammo carrier on the streets of Monrovia, what else? President Baga is taking this thing for jokes. One of the guys will walk to the mansion one day and said they declared himself president. If you guys are brave to bring APC on the street,
that shouldn't happen, but it's getting insane every day. Let's welcome the birthday boy, Paul Kennedy. Happy birthday to our dear friend.
Birthday man, correction. I'm 53.
Birthday man. Remember, we are crowd boy. I say birthday boy because we are crowd. But birthday man, how you doing?
Thank you, my man. Because somebody start calling me birthday boy and the person 13-year-old, it will not make sense.
Birthday Paul Kennedy, how you doing today? Happy birthday to you, my friend.
Thank you, buddy. Thank you.
Yeah, so but let me play some video, right? Let me play some.
Well, happy birthday. You spend a year or you went and came back.
They might give you a few hours.
I'm not giving you any answer, Gamma. I'm not a part of your politics.
I love you.
Oh, you asked what a man's playing birthday in America?
I went the man took a quick flag and came back.
That one had to say that my birthday, I will keep it for tomorrow.
Very good, please.
Yeah, that my birthday. We won't put a man in more Ali situation that he can handle.
I can't handle. Don't put me in a situation I can't handle.
But ladies and gentlemen, I want us to go to the phone on Paul Kennedy. We are talking about this issue from yesterday. We got other story to run, very big story. Judas Silly taking money from Lace. You do your research about Lace. It's a problem. But we got this different video. I want to play some of them that's coming up. And every day is a new thing in the country. Every day is a new video of police brutality. People are asking, is Gregory Coleman tired? Should the president replace all of the leadership within the Liberia National Police? People are calling for full replacement, and because they are not helping the country right now. And let's put friendship aside. Do you think Gregory Coleman should go? With everything that is happening, do you think Gregory Coleman should go? The strength of the motorcyclists in the country, maybe they pass 50,000 or more, maybe 75,000 or more. And these people saying that they're going to protest. Somebody play music. Can we mute, please? So let's watch this for a minute.
Police again. What you gonna do? Oh, you gonna do? But nothing to do.
So, my fellow Liberian, what's the problem here? And we forget to welcome our folks, but we're going to welcome each and every one of you. Thank you for joining us, folks. What's the issue here? People are saying that police again. You heard the guy? That is someone who said that police again. That Gregory again. People are saying that police again. See that?
Sure. So I think one thing that also very sure to note is that the police has an extremely low positive perception. There is extreme perception of corruption in the police already as we speak. Then in terms of mobility and safety, there is extremely low perception as well. So if you are in that kind of scenario and you are placed with an opportunity to reform the police and you are feeling, consistently, then there needs to be evaluation right here, because the police control almost an entire municipal city, which is Monrovia, that has a women population. And also rurally, we don't even know what's going on rurally in Liberia. This is we just considering the situation in Mosurado County. So this is concerning. I would say definitely there's a need that the president evaluate the role of the police director. And I'm not saying that because I have an interest for anyone or anybody. I don't care. This has to do with safety of our country. And the safety
So let me hold you right there, Walter. Let me hold you right there. And that's where we were going, right? I mean, maybe we'll get different views here. Clinton, let's hear you on this. Do you think it's about time that the president reshuffle the Liberia National Police?
The president needs to reshuffle the whole government, given what's just happened in the last 1 year. But especially with the police, I think it's a problem. Look, this police force that the last time I was asking who trained these people, what do they train them? I know, the police people, they teach them criminal law, criminal procedure. I don't know what they teach those people. Those people, one minister can tell them go bring in somebody's car or go beat somebody and they don't understand what they should be doing, what's a lawful order. Yeah, you have these people all around the city with rat times. Like the thing I don't wrap my mind is how it's all over the place. Why is Gregory Coleman not taking action? You have police officers all over the place.
What action can he take? Clinton, what action can Gregory take right now?
Well, Gregory should be dismissing people. He should be disrupting these people and falling to cook for assault. The police people, it's not lawful for you for the traffic violations. Those are just mixed demeanor. Those are minor offenses. You give people tickets to keep it moving. Someone break, regulations with bicycle. You're not supposed to go there with a bag. You move your back. You issue them a ticket. Keep it moving. What's up with the rattan and people passing the whipping and the falling out from the back?
What do you think my excuse is to the president? Why this thing happening? Why is happening?
But
on a higher scale, why?
I think it's even a larger problem of not just Gregory Coleman. It's a larger problem of the government not thinking anything through. I didn't want to say this thing in the beginning. Before you launch any kind of major policy like this, you have to look at the economic implications, the larger economic implications. Right? You have, over 50,000 people who are riding back who survive on backs. So if you're going to put in a restriction to that, you have to really think this through. How are you going to enforce that? First thing, we don't know whether these motorbikes have. I was in Liberia. A lot of them don't have any kind of lesson place, so you don't know commercial from.
Probably. Yes.
So you're saying that you can fly the speed of a river commercial, but what if I have a back and that's why I used to go to work? How do you distinguish? So the government doesn't think through everything and they just enforce, put these laws on the track.
Let me hold you right there. And let me bring Paul Kennedy. Paul, we got some serious national security issue at hand right now. President Bouaka is on Andrew Air Force Base, right? He going to Camp David. Right now, President Bouaka is in Camp David right now in Bomi County of Bapolu. What you think he's thinking about? He's out of the city. We got police attacking. Let's listen, guys. Police beating on AFL soldier. Police beating on civilian. Police beating on immigration. Police beating on drugs cartel. Police beating on investors. Police. The morale is so low, lower than -0.0. And the president is in his own Camp David, right? Whatsoever he's doing, opening water pump. Whatsoever he's doing, checking the Amherst Hospital. But the national security issue remains in the capital. What can this president do right now? Should he reshuffle the whole government? Should Gregory Coleman go? Because what is happening, the morale of the police is all-time low, and the increase in police brutality is higher than ever under Madam Salif and Jowiya combined. What can the president do? Paul Kennedy, I know you didn't vote for him, but I gave you the time to speak to him.
Yeah, and if we turn the thing over again, I will vote for Jowiya still. I did not. Yeah, when only two of them in the race, if you only put the two of them in the race, Liberian people exclude the rest of the people, and you have my Uncle Joe and President Weah, I will vote for President Weah. The thing is simple. I don't imagine anywhere in Africa where an 80-year-old man who does not have the endurance to be able to run around surrounded by a bunch of crooks that are not aided by the legislature to hold them in check will succeed. So they are setting my Uncle Joe up for failure. That's what they did. But let's come back to the issue. Look, I am not a spokesperson of the police. There's an increase in police brutality. There's a low morale issue. There is mistrust in the community. There is a lack of effective communication as far as articulating the police stance to the public. Too many uncertainties are unveiling, which is painting the police bad. But can we put this on Gregory Coleman? I would shout on this thing and say no. Same way we did not analyze the root cause of the early street problem and we hung behind Money Captain until he got removed, and we still got Monrovia dark. Monrovia is dark and hot because we thought the only problem at LEC was Money Captain. So we remove Money Captain and the problem persists and continue. So is Gregory Coleman a problem? I don't know. Is he the problem? No, he is not the problem. The police has a lot of constraints. The police highly grossly underfunded. The police got conglomerate of people who are not trained. Some of them even got into the position based on political affiliation. We just took them from somewhere and put them. We say, oh, let them be policemen. I'm a senator. I want my brother to be policeman. We got all these people in the police, and the police have not gotten the resources to be able to streamline them, to train them, to put them. Now, do we have individuals in any organization on earth that have the tendency to be disgruntled, to be outlaw, to be non-obedient? Yes. Do we have that cadre of people in the Liberian National Police? We do. What do we do to them? Now, there are several actions that the police need to take. And for somebody to sit down here and tell me Gregory not taking any action, I don't want to believe that. Gregory have suspended some people, put them on administrative leave. Gregory has even fired some people. If you call the police now, they'll tell you over the last 2 months, the police have fired over 10 persons. But one thing the police is not effective at doing is communicating their action to the public. And because there's a huge public sentiment, everybody's looking and just chunking right at the police. So I think the police need to step back. The police need to redefine their strategic communication interventions, and the police need to promote community engagement, community partnership, and community policing to be able to build trust in the community with the police people. These people are serving us. The people are protecting us. The people are doing their best with limited or no resources at all. Stand to imagine, if you were making $150 a month, will you be a vibrant, tolerant, convenient police officer? I bet you will never be. You'll probably not even want to serve for $150. So we should respect these men, gallant men and women who are sacrificing their life while we have few people sitting down there in government making tens and thousands of dollars while the police people are working at one, trying to find money to feed their family. Let's be empathetic in this situation and figure out the root cause of the problem to solve it, then stop throwing blames at Gregory Coleman.
So let me ask you a question, Paul. We here in America, would the incident happen with the Secret Service? The director resigned. At what time do you think that Gregory Coleman should go? Under which condition should Gregory Coleman step aside? You talk about the money, Paul Kennedy. Gregory Coleman and I are about to upload the loan that they took from the bank. Over 5 million United States dollars. Gregory Coleman has a budget, and it was increased. Even with the little things they are making, Gregory Coleman have Liberian National Police to every concession company in the country. They are paying them, but they are paying them through the private security, but they are using the resources of the government and the country to serve those people. You want to defend Gregory Coleman? Heaven is the head that wears the crown.
Stand down.
And if hell is the head that wears the crown, Gregory Coleman should be responsible. That in 1 year, a little over 1 year, all these things happening under the watchful eyes of Gregory Coleman. You say Gregor Coleman has suspended but bringing them back. Who have Gregor Coleman say, I will suspend you, go sit down? The last time when those people then beat the investors in the country, Gregor Coleman said he fired one, he suspended one, and the rest of them stay hanging around with Gregor Coleman. Gregor Coleman is a friend and brother. But then who are you going to blame for the rise in police brutality, for the increase in police violence on citizens? Are you blaming Joseph Yimad Boakai? Or should we let it ride? You are just screaming and say you will vote for Joe Weah. But if you screaming and say you will vote for Joe Weah, but you want Joseph Boakai to keep Gregory Coleman, then I think we are in some double talking situation here. So I'll make my point.
I will say my own. Let me let you.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Look,
with this, and I'll make my point to you. I think it's a scary situation right now. Gregory Coleman is not speaking, and because Gregory Coleman is not speaking, the police, they are emboldened to do what they have to do. Where are the real police officer, my friend? Something begot something, and nothing begot nothing. And I think Gregory Coleman should begin to rethink that either he's still and he does the right thing, or the president should let him go. For the sake of good governance, for the sake of the people. I will end with this one. The same Liberian people, the boys and say they go on the street. They say they're going on the street. They say they will go on the street and protest. When they put a letter, I will put it out. The Justice Ministry said, if you want to do it, you'll go to the Liberian police and set a perimeter. Imagine 70 or 50,000 pepper rider hit the street. It means that on that day, there will be nothing happening. Whether it is peaceful or not, there will be no going to work. There will be no businesses that will be safe to open. Investors will be watching because the people are saying, those boys are saying, we need X, Y, and Z. What's the long-term goal? What's the solution here? And I rest.
I'm glad. Yeah, Clinton, you just give me 1 minute. Clinton, I will get to you. Just give me 30 seconds.
No. When we come around, we'll give you the 30 seconds, but I don't do that. Because you talk, I won't talk. Let other people talk. Yeah. You talk, I talk.
But this is the thing. To Paul's point. Look, for all of the issues you raise are valid issues. Does the police have serious logistical financial constraints? The police does. Historically, that has been a problem. The police is underpaid. The police has logistical challenges, and there is a broader leadership problem from the legislature. Public officials not setting good example, trickling down to ordinary civil servants. But some of the issues we are talking about are issues when there will always be problems in public service, and people are appointed to these positions to solve some of these problems. And so when they are not able to solve this problem, then they share some of this blame. So Gregor Coleman is aware of the challenges of police. We know that the constraints he has, but some of the issues we are saying are issues that he can address, right? Look, we are seeing every day police people on the street passing around, they are whipping people. That is not proper. This is no way for a civilized police force to operate. That is something that is widespread, is random. These are not isolated incidents anymore. That is something he can deal with. We've seen at least 3 videos from today, from the past few days. It means this issue is so important that Gregor Coleman has to come, have a press conference, and send a strong message to his people and say, enough is enough. If you don't stop, I'm coming in over there, and I will get you, I will disrupt you, and I will make sure you're prosecuted to the full extent of the law. But there are things he can do. But when you're sitting there just allowing these things to happen, we saw 2 videos yesterday, 3 today, and police officer, even with the AFL situation, and then the DEA and I think there was immigration issue, and then now it's just spreading, and then we're seeing it just having more robbing and beating people. Look, it's a problem. And another thing we're seeing is a serious distrust, or historically between the Liberian security services and the public. There's been a lot of disrupt, but it's been a rise in recent days with the police just because of the way. Look, when a police officer here approach you, you know you have to put yourself in order. You drive on the highway, right? You get on the traffic in the morning and you see this heavy 1 hour traffic and you mad or self thinking, where is the traffic? And when you reach Ephraim, when they find out that just because one trooper park his car, he ain't doing nothing, he just sit and park. Everybody's scared, so it's the way, the police, the way they present themselves to the public too. If you're making people in and then you're driving like to driving like every day, as soon as you reach any checkpoint, the police are asking you for money. Like, what kind of respect was I supposed to have for you, right? So it's a lot of different things that has to go into it, and I believe that some of these problems, the police leadership can solve. The national government needs to get involved. We need to do something more about how we pay, train, and equip our police people. So there's a broader issue, and there are some low-hanging fruits that Greco Kuma can address in the immediate future.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, guys. Don't forget, we'll also add Emmanuel Nukwe, Rudin Akin from the New York District Court concerning Emmanuel Nukwe, right? We will discuss that. I was able to speak to Emmanuel Nukwe, the lawyer here in America. He should be joining us on Tuesday to talk to us about this ruling. Emmanuel Nukwe went to court as to why the United States government put him on visa restriction and other stuff. Now, there's a bigger issue here. So we will bring Emmanuel Nukwe, lawyer, on the show. I'm not going to call his name yet, but I spoke to him today, and he's coming on Tuesday to speak to the nation on the Emmanuel Nukwe case. Let me talk to you, my brother Wanto, and we'll bring in Abula Mame. You have your 2 minutes on Greco Kuma.
Sure. I think, our criticism is not more about, that we hate Gregory Coleman. I think I respect his credential. He's a Harvard graduate. So there's extreme expectation with the role that he's currently served. And this is not a first time. It's not like someone learning on a job. This is his second time serving as a director. What we are speaking about here is the security risks. You have extreme security risks in the country. You have conflict between two major security apparatus. So it's very concerning. Whether you think, there is a systemic issue, the leader of the police must lead reform. If there is challenges, the first person that will be a case of contact to have a conversation about is the head. So it's a legitimate concern to ask, what are some of the reform Gregory Kuma is leading? What we know for some of the reform he led, there are extreme skepticism with it, and I listed some of them. The CCTV booth that was built, it was wrong. It was wrongly informed. In a society like Liberia that is not as industrialized as America, you cannot harness some of the extreme, police, the extreme development around policing in the U.S. compared to Liberia. So that was ill-informed. Over 35,000 of taxpayer money was used on that project. Up to now, there's no accountability for that project. In fact, nobody speak about it anymore. Yesterday, we saw the video that circulated. Radicalism at its best. That's a national security concern. The fact that the president have not made a statement, the fact that the defense, the Ministry of Defense is yet to make a statement, there should have been a tripartite ministerial, dialogue on finding ways to be able to amicably resolve this security situation. Because there's also geopolitical concern also as well. There is in Africa today, the quest for militarization among policing and also military institutions have gone to a space where democracy no longer serve as an agent for some of these dialogue. So there are concerns. I do think that Gregory Coleman have a role here. There is public perception that is extremely low on the police in terms of corruption, in terms of some of the work the police do, and in terms of safety. If you are the head of the police, there need to be a critical space to evaluate some of the policies you are leading, some of the mediums of engagement, leadership you are leading as a police head. So this is the concern. And I think for me personally, I think it's legitimate. And these are the things that we should be talking about. And you can't isolate Gregory Coleman when you're having this kind of conversation. He's the head, and he should be the one that should be the critical,
Thank you.
Dialogue.
And I like that. We shouldn't do that. We shouldn't isolate Gregory Coleman. Now, on this note, we're going to bring in Abula Mame. Abula, this is very, very important. Here we are again. Full video circulating from today about police brutality. Talk to me.
We want to call on the police to see reason, police officers to see reason to conduct themselves in accordance with their ethics and their standard operating procedure. You know, it's good to highlight these things so we talk about them. But when you have a police force of over 4,500 men, I just Google in at the number that ran out. When you have a police force of over 4,500 men spread across the 15 county, to use 5 incidences to determine that is the operations of the national police, it will not be fair to the good men and women who are ethical and disciplined in the execution of their duties. Over 4,000 men. We are discussing 5 or 6 incidences here, or let's take it up to 10 police officer incidents here of all of 4,000 people. To just use the 10 persons attitude to describe the entire police force will not be fair to the remaining 4,000 plus police people in the police force. That will not be fair to them. However, it can signal that there is a potential issue. The frequency of police brutality in the last 1 month is a concern. One day there is brutality, the another day there is brutality, the another day there is violence. It is a concern. And everybody who raising the alarm bell and calling on the police and security actors to see reason to bring this under control, we support those ideas. We support them. But to use 4 persons or 10 persons position to describe the entire police force of the country would not be fair. Like the same thing they're doing with the police officer and the army officer. The Ministry of the Joint Security of the country released a statement last night. The National Defense released a statement last night. That is a case of a police officer and an army officer. They announced they condemned the action. The institution condemned the action. Said they launched an investigation, and based on the findings, they will take immediate action. But still, people are saying there's a confusion between the police and the army. Why you do that? Only because you want to inflame situation? Yes, there is an issue. Police officer, army officer were making confusion. They will be investigated, but to say the police in the country and the army in the country fighting, that's too much to describe the situation.
But Baba, so let me ask you now. Police and army, did they fight?
Police officer and army officer fight, not police and army.
So police officer.
Correct.
And army officer.
Correct.
Police represent who? That officer represent who?
That officer is an officer of the Liberia National Police.
So the officer represent, while in the uniform, you represent the Liberia National Police. Am I correct?
Sure.
The AFL, while you in the AFL uniform, you represent the armed forces of Liberia. Am I correct?
Correct.
So if they represent both department, both unit, yeah, mommy, for the sake of good heaven, man, don't bring that other spin to us, because that spin will not hold water. Police, they were engaged in a fist fight. Police and officer came on the scene with the truck and the military gear. So you cannot say anything more than this and say, well, it's not the police and the army, it's just 2 individuals. But I will pass you on that one. I will let that one slide again. I will come with the next one. Before we go to our dear brother, the birthday man, Paul Kennedy. Let me ask you the next one, yeah, mommy. You say, oh, don't say because there are 4,005. You took only 10 incidents that took place in Moserado, right? We ain't counting any other county. Only Moserado. Can you agree with me? Let's make that 10 in all the other 14 counties, and we say now we got 150 incidents. Will you agree with me? If we want to be fair, because we are not going beyond Moserado though. But you still have incidents in other counties. One of the incidents you have
not even reported. Not even reported.
Yeah, okay. There's a gentleman that was in prison. They say he hanged himself, but he was on a police guard. So let's just give it 150. Mommy, even if that one is a problem, To come and say, well, it's an absolute, absolutely there is nothing wrong because they are only 10. Mama, you want us to go to 200,000 before you realize that we got a problem?
No.
But yes, it was issue. Gregory Kuma is not responding. What came up from the Jones security was a joke. Yeah, in America, when these things happen, people come and take questions from the press. They address it. They don't go put out a press statement. It go as far as to the president. So I think we are in problem, Ahmed. You cannot lecture us and say, well, it's not a serious issue because I only 10. You want us to wait for you to go to 20 before you lecture us? But I want to bring in my brother from Dada Patrick, then we're going to go to Paul Kennedy. Ladies and gentlemen, please share our show, Clarence PSA. You got to share Bacchus. You got to share Nancy Cole. We want to say to you, Sensi, but share the show. Darlington Weir, please do. James Draper, Fred Cobo, every one of you that joining us today, we ask you please share our show. Oh, our sister Yvonne Eo, it's good to see you, Yvonne. Please do not tell Paul Kennedy happy birthday. You will make me mad. Again, Miguel Scott, it's good to see you. I want to welcome everybody. We got Wanto Tiwanto, and we'll be bringing in for the first time Tamba Agasilia. I'm bringing him in because he asked to join us. Well, we got room for one. We're going to bring him in. Dr. Richardson is up today. Sister Glennie is somewhere in Minnesota. I don't know what she's doing, but she won't be here today. For the family will be joining us to talk about the concession agreement from the House of Representatives, something they are pushing. And I think it would interest you to listen to him. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Spoon Talk. Let's make this thing happen. We'll talk about Samuel 12, the ruling on Samuel 12 today. We're going to talk about what is happening. Right now, we are talking about the Labrador National Security System. We are going to also talk about issues concerning Julius City, 675,000. Okay? We have to talk about that. Again, welcome to the Spoon Talk. We got a lot to discuss. Paul Kennedy, I see my friend Dada Patrick having internet problems. So let's just bring you in, take the last round on this, and we move on.
Thank you, Stanton. My brother Wanta left, but I wanted to inform him.
He's in the back.
I wanted to inform him that the boot that he talked about were not paid for by the police. They were not even built by the police. They were a sample of some ingenuity that came to a Liberian businessman who I personally know, and he put those boots there, hoping that the Liberian government were going to see it as a good sample to provide him money now to continue. They did not conclude the agreement, and I think the discussion is still going on because the Liberian government was not able to have the money to continue with the kind of boot he wanted to build around the country. So let's correct the information here that the boot was built by the Liberian police. Don't know how that 5 cents not in that boot. That boot was built by a very good friend of mine who is a Liberian businessman in Liberia. And so let's come to the issue of the problem. You know, Stanton, when we sit on this platform, we want to find solutions to the problem we have in our country. If there were no problem, we would not be here. If Liberia were heaven, we would be laying down somewhere sleeping, right? But Liberia is not heaven. Liberia is run by human beings, and some of them have personal problems that conflict with their operations technique. Listen, nobody likes to abide by laws. Even in America, where we said we see speed limit of 60 miles an hour, I'll be running 80, 85 miles an hour. The only reason why I slow down is when I'm getting in a zone where I think that police people will always be to chastise me and slow down. And my brother talked about the police here. Those police got gone. In certain instances, they shoot you before you even talk. We've seen so many of that in this country. Don't get me wrong. We pray that those things don't even escalate or extend to the nature of what happened in America here to Liberia. Are the police right? No. In some of the things they are doing, it's completely out of steps, out of place, misplaced, and so forth. But I've told you the reason earlier. When you just go and hire people based on political recommendation without the requisite, the appropriate trainings, chances are you're going to pick people along the way who have emotional instability, who will not have the intellectual capability and the other ways to handle the position you labor upon them. I know a lot of men, Amulai, who leave America to go sleep with 16, 17-year-old girls in Liberia, and they say the country is sweet. They are running away from America because they know they can't do it here. So
Thank you, Paul. Let's go. I'm just giving you the 10 seconds because we got to move to the next one. Let me bring it from the other part.
On the motorcycle, one second.
Yeah, real quick, my man.
Nobody wants the motorcycles out of the street because that's a livelihood. But the motorcyclists will have to abide by rules and laws of the streets, and that is what bringing the anger, because the police pulling them out of the street through the Ministry of Transport and the Liberian government mandate. So what they need to do is to go to sit down in-house to find a solution, amicable solution that all parties can be better with. But you can't just have motorcyclists running all around in Monrovia. That's not good for our city.
Oh, Paul, thank you very much. Again, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the show. If you have not shared the show, we want to tell you to share, please. Do so. We want to welcome the representative for the formula, bring in our brother Tamba. Tamba, I'm not going to pronounce your last name, my man. I'm going to mess it up. We're going to welcome Vendetta Patrick. As always, it's good to see you, VP. Let's hear you, VP. We got to move on away from this police issue, but we're going to give you guys 1 minute each. We got so many stories to talk about today. There you have it. When we ask you, VP, please mute second. Please, we're backing you till we can get to you. This is Gregory Coleman, the police IG, my own friend. You see him, a very decent man. This is his second time coming to lead our force, but we having a problem here. We having a SOS problem. We having a serious problem that the country, Gregory Coleman, got to put his foot down. So folks are asking, is it time for the president to relieve Gregory of his position because of the increase in police brutality? We also learned that Gregory Coleman gave the police officer ratting, the thing they say ratting, that used to beat people in school. The people distribute the ratting, they bought a lot of them and they give it to the police officer. Is that a new form of weaponizing the police? So we are in some serious trouble. We got so many videos. I will play this one, then we'll bring it from Dada Patrick and the rest of the guys. Let me play this video, please.
Okay. My name is ACP Cooper with the Liberian National Police.
Yes.
I'm pulling this driver over for a traffic violation.
Yes.
You right now are interfering with what I'm doing. So I'm going to ask you again.
What is
I'm going to ask you, I need you.
What is my interference?
You're not supposed to be up here in my space while I'm
I'm
doing
not
my
in
job.
Space. There's the driver and my
I'm telling you, sir. What are your names?
I am not.
What is your name?
No, you don't want to know my name.
No, because
you say you want to know
I'm
me.
going to address you.
No, you say you don't want to know me. Ain't that what you said?
Sir.
Ain't that what you said?
You're not going to move.
You said you don't want to know my name.
You're not going to move?
I'm not going to move where?
To go back to where you need to be.
How is away from my vehicle is I'm gonna move?
This is a government vehicle. It's not yours.
It's a sound to me.
It's a government vehicle. It's not yours.
It is a sound to me.
That's two different things.
Yes.
So it's not yours. So I need you, please, go back.
Brother, if you want to do your work, please go and
no, but you are interfering.
I'm not interfering. I didn't talk.
You are interfering.
Go ahead and talk to the guy.
We do not need to get in this. This has nothing to do with you. It has to do with the driver. Yeah. So now you are.
So my point is
you are doing something you're not supposed to do. My point is, I need you to, you can talk to me from over there. You can talk to me after I'm done with the driver, but right now you are interfering.
I'm not talking to you either.
You are interfering.
But I'm not talking to you.
You are not supposed to be here.
And you hating me now.
You are not supposed to be here.
I'm not supposed to be on the car?
No, not where I'm at. Please go to where you need to be. I'm asking, and I asked you several times.
No, wait. Can you show me the law that say you can't stay on the car for
I am telling you.
No, can you show me the law?
I'm telling you. You're not supposed to. The law is you're not supposed to interfere with me doing my job.
Yes.
And that's what you're doing.
Yeah. What interference?
Please.
What is the interference?
Please.
What is the interference?
Did
I talk to you?
You're interfering. You stopping me from
doing my job. Interfering?
Please go.
I'm not stopping you.
You're not gonna move.
Huh?
You're not gonna move.
No, I'm not moving on my car.
Sir, I'm asking you again.
I'm not gonna move on my car.
Please move.
You fighting me?
Please move. Please move. Listen. I'm afraid you. I'm afraid you.
Yeah, you gonna share. You got
gun. What are you doing?
You got gun fighting me?
Move.
My
man, move.
I will not move. I will not.
You're not moving.
Yeah. I said I'm not moving.
You're not moving.
I said that.
It's gonna be something different now. All because of a car that you're not moving.
So we are in a serious problem. We are in a very, very serious problem. And this have gone viral all over. The people are resisting the police. Who is provoking who? What can Gregory Coleman and the government do? The morale is so low. Let me bring you in time very quick, 30 seconds. We're bringing Honorable for the family. And we're going to show this different clip for people to understand that something is happening in Liberia and it doesn't smell right. Tama, welcome to the show.
Well, thank you, Stanton. Can you hear me?
Loud and clear.
All right. Thank you so much for inviting me and having me over tonight.
Say something about what you just saw and what can Gregory Coleman do, or should the government, should the president relieve Gregory of his duty?
Well, thank you again. What is happening in Liberia today? It is an indication of what's wrong with our nation, what's wrong with our people. And I have been in advocacy for the last 20 years. I'm the original founder of the Voice of Liberia. Some of the guys on the show here know me, but I will leave that for another day. Liberia is going through a period that is dangerous. We have a new government that's been in power for a year, and they are going their second year. And we have the opposition that's treating everything like we are in campaign season, even though we have just had 1 year of governance. But then there's this underlying trend that people feel that when they are in authority or they are in government and they have the power of the day, they can treat people and act in a way that is acceptable. It is a culture of impunity that's underlying. It is go way back to 30 years of what we've been through as a nation, or for the last 30 or 40 years. What is happening is disgraceful. It needs to stop. Someone needs to step up. The buck stopped with the presidency. The Attorney General supervises the police or the National Police Force in Liberia. Either he does something or the president does something. So this is where the buck stopped with the president, and I think we need action. We need the president or the Attorney General to step in and address the chaos that's happening currently, or that is what we've seen over the last several weeks and several months by the police, being perpetrated by the police, that even led to a recent fire crash between the police and the military. And these are just individuals involved. But these are such pockets of violence that we are seeing across Liberia, killings, dead bodies showing up in communities that we really don't know what is happening. It needs to stop. And someone needs to step up. This is about leadership. And that's what we are lacking right now.
Also, thank you very much. Again, thank you for joining us. Representative for the family. We will talk about the concession. You are the chair, but let's talk about increased police brutality in our country. Welcome to the show.
Thank you again, Staton. I think we all been fathering. This is an age-old situation in this country. We need to have a huge level of support when it comes to counseling in this country, especially those who are trying to administer the law. The guys in the police, I have seen this situation in the past two government. It's just wrong. This is not the first time for you to observe a clash between the police and the military. Similar situation took place a few years back around the EAW junction in similar position around the route that leads to the airport. This time around, it happened around the route that leads to similar thing happening around the Park-Upping junction. So it's something I think we need to have a lot of counselors who will help to advise some of our guys, or there should be huge punishment for them. They get the whole place destabilized. There are people who move in the street with guns, but they do not control their attitude. It's just hell wrong. And their actions is just condemnable.
Thank you very much for it. Thank you for that. Let me play the last video. We're going to get away. Every day is a new video. Let's watch this one.
Moses.
Can I provide information right after the video?
I mean, the police get it. You can't be on the police get it. Yeah, the police get it.
All right, I want us to close with a video, but let's hear you, Representative Fabula, which
So let me just say this to you. A few years back, similar issue led to the death of a journalist on the football field. The police massively flogged one of the journalists, and I think he died from the injury. Few weeks ago, similar thing happened again on the football field where the police beat on the Liberia BBC journalist, and the report that came out today, that report says the police will not be held liable for any wrongdoing. So the guys are parading in violence, and it's becoming a culture in the police. The beat on the move in the street were rotten. We have few investors in this country who are trying to look. They were trying to look at some of the historical buildings in our country to see whether they could express interest in them. They were surprised to know it was looking like fun when they saw police were rotten standing all in the street, like they were looking for their children. It's something we should, I don't know, the culture has really been tampered with. The war had a lot of impact on our culture. We need to look at it. We need to put in place mechanism where people going to the police will reduce the level of tension against our citizens. There's no justification for your action.
Let me say this to you, and thank you for joining us. And we'll bring Abdullah Mame to play turn the rest of the guys. You are sitting representative. We have not heard anything from the Senate. We have not heard anything from you guys calling on the national security team for a hearing. There's nothing so far, and this thing is just getting out of hand. At what point will you guys step in as leaders of the country?
No, Stanton, if you will play your video from your reporters who were present in session on Thursday, there was a communication from Honorable James Collet bringing to the attentions of plenary the actions of the police and the guys from the AFL. And that communications, the decisions that was made in plenary was that the head of those two entities will be invited to the legislature.
Yeah,
besides the leadership.
You say you would invite them, but you have
no. If you make such a decision on Thursday, as of today, the communication has already been sent. They have to appear on Monday. So Monday by noon, they will be at the legislature. We want to know, as leaders, we want to know, because this is not the first time. This is not the first time. And someone should be punished. Some of these things, when they happen in other good countries, you observe the head of the institutions who resigned because they should be able to set a standard that people in the field who follow. But just on call for.
Thank you very much. Mama, you want to close up this before Clayton?
I mean, the video you play, it comes back to support some of the points we made.
The first one or the second one?
The first one you play.
The
second one also supports some of the points we made.
Okay.
Second one support the point about police officers being reckless, police officers being irresponsible, police officers not being executing their duty in a responsible manner. That's what that video shows. The first video shows how citizens are in constant disrespect to law enforcement, not just police officer, to upholding and respecting the law.
Why do you think so? Why do you think it's on the increase?
Come again?
Why do you think the citizen constant disrespect on the increase towards police or other law enforcement officer?
There could be many factors. One of the factors could just be there's low police morale. There's low police morale in the country. Look at the way the police dress. What a uniform. You know, when policemen appear before you, I mean, you see the way they are dressed, decent looking, and it comes back to fully family. How much you're putting in the budget to get police brigadier and police uniform for the police officer? How is that amount increasing over the year as the number of police force increase, as the number of police officers increase over the year? It comes back to you. So police morale is low for several factors. Police standing on the street, no baton in their hand. Police standing on the street, no uniform. That should not be the basis for anyone to disrespect a law enforcement officer. But I'm just giving it as part of the reason why there is this continual habit of police disrespecting. Now, see the case. The police officer who was approaching the guy and he had the car, even though I did not see him, but under what condition? We all look, under what condition will you be sending to a police officer and say, I can't leave from here? He's telling you interfering with my investigation. Just step aside. Let's step aside. So as we call on the police director to rise up to the occasion, let's tell our people, man, be law abiding. You are a government official. The big shot attitude, let's drop it. You can't be standing in front of police officer trying to enforce the law and you're standing there and telling you you cannot leave. And when the police
I don't know whether I can interject, bro.
One minute time. Everybody will have the 30-second on this one. Let's go around real quick.
Yes, so I conclude on that note. Let people be law abiding, even though the police morale is low, but also you must respect the law.
Thank you. Commander, you want to close up on this?
Look, I have to agree with Mommy on this one. That the first video, me as a lawyer, I'm thinking about a few charges I could, put on that. That I don't know, he's a government official or somebody, but if I was the county prosecutor in Monserrado, I would be asking to slap him with failure to obey a lawful order, disorderly conduct.
Let me ask you a question, Governor. Thank you for coming in with your position as a lawyer. At what point the gentleman was in the wrong?
Well, he was standing. This video is not full, but he's standing. The police officer trying to approach the driver. He's within the same space. The police officer is directing him to step aside. At that point, you have to step aside. You can move to another space. You can step a few far. But as soon as the police officer said, "Please, sir, you're in my way," you have to step aside. You have to do that. That's a lawful order. He's not telling you to do anything illegal. At that point, that gentleman had to step back. The fact that he was still standing in the police officer's face, he was being defiant, and he would not move.
Let me add to that, please, and you'll continue. I know if a police officer pulled a car over here, you remain in your car till you are ordered to get out.
Exactly.
Right?
Yes.
You cannot get out now. If they pull your daughter over and you go on the scene to say, "Well, maybe it's close to your home," you cannot get out of your car either. You will remain in your car, away from the police car, because it's not a safe environment.
It's a safety issue for the police officer operating. If he's saying step back, I don't feel say you.
What's the police mistake here?
The police officer. Well, if I was the police officer, I would be calling for backed up. The first thing he was approaching that situation alone. I think that the operating procedure in that situation, he should not even be pursuing. He should have been on. They don't even have radios. That's a sad thing. But yeah, the police officer, the next thing he'll be doing will be calling for backup. He's been challenged right there. Look, when I did public administration, one of the first things they tell you is the police officer I taught at the police academy is that they are the first line of the government on the street. So the police officer are taught to exert their authority on the street. If the police officer issue an order and you're not moving, they will move heaven and how they call it and help to move you at that point. You have to move. They have to show you that they are the authority here. that guy was order. And if he's any kind of government official, like if this was any kind of civilized society, he would be losing his job as well, because he's using his position to intimidate the police officer. So while we talk about, and I agree with Mommy, while we talk about all these nonsense that the police people are doing, the ratting and all this unnecessary brutality, at the same time, we have to respect the command of the police when they are acting legally. Like, this guy is just doing his job. And I think the guy was just wrong to just send the police officer.
I beg. Let me bring in Paul 32nd, my friend, and we'll bring in Tamba and Wanto. We have to run to the other story, guys. We want to say again, please share our show. We'll go to the phone line and hear you. Good to have everyone on this beautiful Friday evening. Paul, your 32nd.
Yeah, look, Stanton, the first video, if that gentleman were in America, he would get shot. I can tell anybody that, because he came in the police officer's space. The police officer told him, please step back, stay away from me. First of all, he had no business getting out of the car. When the police officer pulled that car over, the only person who had a business with him was the driver. But for that guy to be talking and trying to show government officials, right now he should be asking to resign. Somebody should be asking that guy to send in his resignation. He's obstructing. He's one of the very bad examples of the Liberian government in the country. And for the family, the honorable representative is here. They just used 13 million where they should have used 3 million. The police don't have walkie-talkie. The police don't have uniform. The police don't have cars. When the police pull you over, they got to run behind you on somebody's charter bike, or the police got to run to their office and borrow somebody's bike to come. So for the honorable for the family to be sitting here talking about the calling the police IG, if I were the police IG, I walk in that Senate, I will really tell you something you don't want to hear. First thing you need to put your house in order. It's a divided house. You call me, I will not come there because you're operating outside of the Constitution.
We've gone to the legislature again, Kennedy.
Kennedy, let's take on Kennedy. Paul, let's take on the conversation now. Paul, listen, I beg you. We beat on them already. We want to keep this thing in the confine of our conversation, please. I beg you.
All right,
we can bring him back.
But to be honest, the police is constrained. The police have low morale. The police has no.
But what is there with the over $5 million to borrow from the bank?
Police operation, you got 4,000 police people operating to secure.
The 4,000 police people, they got budget for them. They just pay them.
The police people are paying $150, Stanton.
Oh, so what is there with the over 500 million the police took as a loan?
500 million?
When were taking them loan? Over $5 million.
Police loan from who?
5 million?
Who get police loan?
What's the police operational budget?
Wait a minute.
No, I'm asking you a question. What's the police operational budget for a whole country of 5 million?
I cannot answer both questions at the same time, though.
I'm not doubting what you're saying. I'm just saying who gave police loan?
That's a question.
Okay, wait now. So I'm gonna answer Babalu Man first.
Yeah, then you come to me.
Okay, so Babalu Man, you got the information. LPRC.
Standing up, both of them from Babalu.
Oh yeah, okay, both of them. Forgot. But my man, you got a document. LPRC borrowed loan. The same time, LNP was borrowing the loan. We broke the story. You and myself broke the story, my man. From Echo Bank. And you're going to ask me today who police got loan from?
No, Stella, to be very honest with you, I know about the LPRC issue. I don't really know about the police issue. But I'm not like denying it. I'm just saying.
Oh, so you didn't know? Okay, let me put
exactly, honestly. Honestly,
yeah,
I don't.
But
these are two different. These are two separate issues.
Exactly. These are two separate issues. And Tamba, you are right.
So let's remain on track.
No, guys,
let's remain on track. The issue here is the police brutality.
Paul, we will be on track. But this is Paul. The reason why I'm bringing it up, Tamba, this is Paul third time saying it, right? That police has no money. Police is low on logistics. But we have to inform the people. This government, in the middle of 2024, they went to the bank and they borrowed from the bank. My brother Fambula know today, the Senate going to call them and ask them what they did, who authorized them to go for loan, and what they did with that loan money.
Exactly.
LPRC, $9.5 million. But while you guys are talking, let me upload the document. Let's clarify these things. Before candidates, thank you. Let me count to 1, 2, and Tama will close on this one. 1, 2.
Thank you. So let me start by first disagreeing with a statement from Paul. Paul said if the situation you play with the video, he said if this was in the US, the guy would end up there. That's a lie. First of all, in the US, let me provide some of the laws that the Fifth Amendment said you have the right to remain silent, which is the right to refuse to answer questions from the police, whether you are detained, whether you are stopped, or whether you are arrested. In fact, the guy wasn't arrested. So he had no right to answer a question from the police if he wished to. If you're in the US, that's a violation of his right. There is also a right to refuse searches of the Fourth Amendment. There is protection from unlawful detention and arrest. Definitely, you saw there that the guy did not even have a warrant. And I could list most of the law, including including numerous other rights in the U.S. Constitution. So the reason I'm putting this is because
Want to interrupt you.
Yeah, rather traffic violation.
You are telling us, right? You are telling us here that my Burlington County police officer say, step away, my friend, go on the other side. I say no. And I get in trouble with them.
I think one of quoting the Constitution, but the context is just wrong.
Paul's statement is saying that if this guy was in the U.S., he will end up there.
If he remained lawless like he did to the Liberal National Police, they will put handcuffs on him, pepper spray him, or shoot him. That's true.
If there is an interaction, there have been instances.
So first of all, the gentleman was not supposed to get out of the car. I don't know whether you live. I don't know whether you live in the United States or you're only talking about the laws on the paper. Because
I live in the U.S.
Okay, I don't know which state. I don't know which state you live in, but yeah, in Maryland, you do it to one racist white police, you will be dead.
Yeah, but
the reality here
it's not even it's not even the racist white police officer. When a police officer is operating on the streets, he's lawfully operating. In this instant, a motor vehicle stop, and you're an occupant of that motor vehicle, and he's issuing an order, you're supposed to move. This is not an interrogating. He's not interrogating you. There's not an issue of a right to remain silent in this case because the guy is not on an interrogation. It's not a question of whether he has to respond. He just has to obey the officer's order. In this case, was to step aside, and he's not moving. The officer also was not trying to. You can't be claiming citizenship because the officer was not trying to session either. Right, the officer when they're telling him to move back.
My concern here is that I think what Paul was literally stating that conversation between police and pedestrian would definitely lead to your death, and I disagree with that because there are cases where there is conversation and there are legitimate laws that also support conversation. I'm not justifying the action of the individual, but we should not create a hostile environment where police cannot have legitimate conversation with pedestrians. The second issue I wanted to be able to, speak about is the fact that we'll come back to the same situation. I don't think, in as much as I agree with the argument on the financial constraint of the police, I don't think these are legitimate concerns to overall, reduce the level of security threat of the current situation we are having. You give the police all of the funding they need. If there is structural issue of corruption, there is mismanagement of funds, and there is legitimate leadership crisis, you still will not have the accurate security sector reform that we are speaking about. What we are speaking about here is a crisis. And I agree with what Ambula spoke about the defense issuing a statement. I read the defense statement. The statement that came from the defense did not provide any structural solution to the current crisis. What they said in that statement was the police and the army, they are brothers and we are friends, and we should not fight each other. Let's be unified. We still have the same situation. And Fode spoke about the fact that this is a real current issue. How do we create solution to ensure that we tackle this issue, that will not have another issue, returning back to the same scenario? So that there is a critical issue here that we have to be able to find a solution for. The president is quiet. We still haven't heard, we have not heard a statement from the president. There is security threat, and we need leadership at this current time. And this is my concern. My concern here is this is a security threat, and it requires the kind of national attention that it needs to ensure that it does not escalate.
Thank you very much, Franco. So now you guys are just sending the police money. I thought it was something. It's
$6.1 million these guys can borrow. I just sent it to you, 40. Please check your phone, sir. They borrowed the money, right? Last year. It's not a joke. They borrowed the money. Can they tell the Liberian people what more brought up Paul Kennedy? Oh, they are low on logistics. Oh, they are doing this work. But they borrowed the money. Go through that document. And by the way, put the document up. I don't like this. LPRC borrowed $9-something million. The Liberian National Police borrowed $6-something million. For what? So it's not about logistics.
It's not about logistics, Stanton.
Talk to me, Tamba. Talk to me.
It's not about logistics. And here's where I come in. You know, I've been eager to really come on this show and contribute. For people who don't know me, look me up, search me up, Tamba Galas. I'm the founder of the Voice of Liberia. For the last 20 years, I've been in advocacy. But I'm also been in international development for over 20 years, right? So I believe in leadership development. That my role has been to find talent, bring them in an organization, in a company, train them, and help them succeed. What is happening in the police force in Liberia today is a testament of the rottenness that is within a corrupt system. Even though they got $6 million as a loan, we can go back and ask for accountability and see how that money has been used. But the system is rotten in that when a police IG is nominated and is confirmed, that police IG sometimes proceed to recruit new cohorts of police. And every government that comes recruit new police. I was in Liberia a few weeks ago, and I learned that there was a cohort that was recruited when George Weah became president, or when George Weah was president. And those police consider themselves George Weah cohort police. When Joseph Walker won the presidency a year ago, there was another cohort of police officers that were recruited and trained. That cohort consider themselves to be Joseph Walker police. That's the problem that we have in the police force. The police, the National Police of Liberia, should be a force for good. They should be there to help keep the peace of the country. They should be there to work with citizens. Now, I do not condone civilian violence on a police officer or on a police force. But what is happening today, also, I'm going to go back to 20, 30 years and 40 years. You see, we have and I'm not a psychiatrist or psychologist. I have a master's in public administration, of course, but we have a collective trauma that is happening.
So 30 seconds, 30 seconds, because we got to move on, please.
The collective trauma has impacted and infiltrated our civil service, our police force, our military, and even the civilian population. After the war, we haven't dealt with the trauma that people experienced after the Civil War. Some people experienced violence. Some people saw the killing of people in front of them. Some people experienced hardship. And then when we got to peace, after the peace accord, there are people basically who caught in the line, the politicians, and they were able to acquire wealth for themselves. Today, the rest of the population is trying to catch up. Everyone is angry.
Thank you, Tamba.
Everyone wants everything fast.
To be continued, guys. We have to go to the other topic. We got 15 minutes to say.
I'm so passionate about Liberia that if you give me the time, I can speak for an hour about these things because I have lived the experience.
It's good to have you on, but we have to remain within our frame of time. Let me put this up, Mommy. You were asking about this. Governor Clinton. I will come to you, Representative. We are talking about, it's in the chat room, government, there's $6.1 million the police borrow. It's right there. We have the document. If the police is borrowing $6.1 million, what are they borrowing it for? They said, listen, we need 55 SUV Toyota Land Cruiser. Did you see Land Cruiser? We need 30 pickup trucks. The Ghanaian government gave the Liberia National Police pickup truck. We need 8 staff. Listen, then give all the reason why they're borrowing the money, but they cannot show it. LPRC borrowed $9-something million, and the LPRC said we're going to bet. Don't put your head down. This is reality. LPRC saying we're going to bid out 10, and they tried. They did it. Amos Twight one day he did something with $9-something million. But Gregory didn't say anything about this one. So, Mame, I want to give you the chance close on this before we bring in a representative. And Paul Kennedy got switched to Kev Hassan. I don't know what's going on here. But Mame, yes, something, my brother. Now you're seeing the document. Paul Kennedy ran away. What say you?
It's concerning. If you see the list of things the police requested the loan for, are the same things we are complaining for.
Thank
we
you.
Are complaining for police logistics. We are complaining for pickups. Somebody was saying when police, even when I arrest you, they have to get on somebody's motorbike to go there. In this identical loan request, we see allotments, we see provisions there to get police motorbikes. I think it's been over 1 year now since this particular loan agreement was signed. The Debt Management Committee review or received this. That was in the, anyway, they did is not there. But it was under Boema Kamara because I see Boema Kamara name.
I will give you the date. We got other documents I will share. Just go ahead. I'm uploading them.
So it brings us now to the question: why will you request a loan of $6 million to procure all these equipment, logistics for the police? It's been over 1 year now, and we can't hear whether the procurement process is ongoing, whether it will procure where are those vehicles. It's thing the police need to speak to. I agree with you on that one. You muted, Stanton.
Well, I don't know. This is strange for me. Can the government, individual government agency go out and get loans? That's strange.
That's the reason why the Debt Management Committee approved the loan.
Yeah.
And another question, was there outside the budget process?
Go ahead.
The first thing that some of us has observed in government is that this sling of now everything that is above 10 million should be ratified by the legislature, and as such, most often the public get in the know of some of the issues unfolding at the legislature, so it will come at the public ear. The loophole to that law is that people in the executive go below the threshold and take loans that are not in the purview of the public. The argument on the show a few minutes ago was the legislature were not allocating money for Eagles, for motorbikes, for this other stuff. Look at the listing. All of the things that you wanted to leave to the legislature. I say this to say something. It's like asking a minister, what is happening? The minister said the way the manner in form we see the country now, we need to reduce the legislature pay. When he said where the people at NOCA are taking 12,000 and the people at the legislature are taking 5,000. When he said where the people at public entity are taking 15,000 and the people in the legislature are taking 6,000. So it's just unfortunate when people play deception with people's lives. The issue here is that the police, from the evidence of the loan, has been given the opportunity to solve some of the problems. But people in the institution need to be quiet. And I can tell you for free, I would write
Representative, bear with me. Let me pull the list. Paul Kennedy wanted to hear from Kev, but I looked that he visited you, so maybe we will hear from him when he comes on the one-on-one. Representative, let me put the list up 1 minute. There you have it. Loan amount $6.1 million. Down payment $920,000. Facility amount $5.2 million. ECA country premium $135,000. I know 12012, your head is hurting, and everything you see is broken down. We're going to say now, why are they asking for this money? We're going to go into it. Folks, our country is in some serious issue yet. Make no mistake. We can beat on the lawmakers all day, but Liberia National Police walking away with $6.1 million. And my brother Paul Kennedy, the thing that pissed me off 4 times now, you say the police is underfunded. But where the $6.1 million going? Paul, take it away, my brother.
Yeah, thank you, Stanton. First of all, I'm glad you provided the information on the loan. What I did not see on that paper is the $6.1 million is for how many years? Because you know, loan has payment on you. $6.1 million for 5 years.
5 years.
We need to stop joking here. 6 million divided by 5 is 1.2 million a year. 1.2 million, approximately 1.2 million a year.
Representative, let me mute you. We got some problem here. Please go ahead, Paul.
Yeah, can you hear me now? Yeah. All right. So if we get the police loan and you divide that money by 5 years, every year the police will use 1.2 million. You got about 6,000 police force. At least 2,000 or 3,000 of them are not trained. They've never done any in-service professional training. They are walking around without any basic radio communication. I can, my brother Tamaya can tell you, just to provide Monrovia alone with effective state-of-the-art recent time communication will cost you almost 10 million for the police, but we give them 6 million over 5 years, whereas the representatives have a public hearing budget for 3 million, but they end up using 13 in 1 year. And then somebody wants to tell me it is actually realistic now that the police are using 6 million, that they talk yeah, please, 1 minute, let me just conclude. I beg you, my brother. Today, my birthday, don't give me a heart attack. I thought this is an increment. When they were talking about 6 million, I thought it was a 6 million increment on the 2 million you're giving the police every year to make it at least 8 million for their operational fund in Liberia. At least then we'll say the police put in a budget of 5 million, you end up giving them 2 million is all the police got back. Then you end up
let me provide information for my brother Paul. Let him finish. I beg you. I beg you, Representative, let him finish.
Okay. So the police send a budget of 5 million, which we know will not be enough. But they say, okay, the government say he get money. And somebody mentioned Ellen Johnson. Ellen Johnson had some of the best goodwill of our country over any president. The police, they got what they needed. We saw how many cars came in the country during the police time. But let's leave that. Let's come back to the issue. The issue is we cannot put the blame of effective functionality on the police head. We need to provide the police all of what they need, their support, including psychological support.
Thank you, Paul. We got to go now, Paul.
We come out of a war, and nobody has provided any psychological support for the people you are calling police. And
Paul, we got to go. Thank you very much. We got to go, Paul. Paul, thank you very much. We got to go. Let me say this to all of you.
Stop you. Don't get that.
Thank you. Paul, thank you very much. Let me say this, man. It's only important for us to be fair here, Paul. I believe that Paul didn't read through the document. It's in the chat room, Paul. Please read it. I'm begging you, from A to Z, that 26 alphabet, don't jump over the middle 5, and you'll only be going with 21, please. Why the ask for the money? Why the borrow the money? 6-point-something million dollars. And I'm uploading the other document I can with this. Whereas the Liberia National Police need assessment of the force to beef up its operational include 55 SUV Toyota Land Cruiser, 20 pickup trucks, 8 staff buses, 4 Toyota Coastal buses, and 4 Toyota Haze buses, 6 anti-riot vans, APC, 6 troop carriers truck, and 100 motorcycle.
Stanton, I like to chime in here because
hold on 1 minute, I beg you. I want everybody to ask the Liberia National Police, please show us why you borrowed the money. Show us those different items. The last time we checked, Mahama, congrats to him, they provide patrol cars. The last time we checked, folks from Minnesota provide Pempe, motorbike, a lot of them. Something serious is happening in our country and we're playing fun. Over $6 million, and you're yet doing math and telling me, say, well, they put it for this one. They were very specific. They took the money. But Tamba, I will give you the last 30 seconds, just 30 seconds. We got to move away from this story to be continued on the more.
Thank you. Thank you, Stanton. First of all, thank you for sharing that screenshot. I haven't read the document, and I hope I can, have access to comprehensive document.
Let me send it to you. Go ahead.
Yeah, okay. Thank you so much. Well, here's what I'm going to say about the police, about the $6 million they got in loans, and how the money has been used. First of all, when I look at that screenshot, I see a lot of equipment, right? Cars, vehicles, this and that for the police to support their work. But what I don't see in that budget, and maybe I haven't read the entire document, is training, is in-service follow-up to continue to beef up and keep the skills of those people current. Like, we have traveled the world, some of us because of the Civil War, so we were flushed out of Liberia and we traveled and we've seen the best practices in other countries. Once you complete a police training, there has to be follow-up training, like they say in a medical field, in service, where you go every 6 months or every 1 year to really beef up and update your own skills. So we need that. That's what the police need. Now, I don't know the police salaries today, what a policeman makes, whether it's $200 or whether it's less. But are the police being paid competitively? Can a policeman buy a bag of rice, pay his or her rent, right, and be left with $50 to save as a safety net? Those are things that we have to be also looking at. What did that budget or $6 million go towards? What are we using that money for? And these are some of the things that we need to dig deeper to understand how is that money being used, given the level of corruption across Liberia.
Thank you. Listen, everywhere you go, he was doing good. He's a mighty healer. He healed the sick. He make the cripple walk. Everywhere this government turn to is corruption and something to explain. 40, we beg to move on. Can you please make it fast?
Can I ask a question on that deal quick before you move on?
Yes, go ahead. That 40 closer. We have to move on, guys.
In a deal, I saw something like the police pay an upfront amount of $920,000. Where did they get that money from?
That's Swagway.
Okay.
Yeah, the man know what it comes
Stand down. The first thing when you look at the structure of the loan, when you take a loan, most often the initial payment sometimes is being made before time. There's some amount there of $900,000 that was deducted from that money. There's a purpose on the loan, and it is spelled out on the instrument. Yes, to 5.2. So you know why? Sometimes, most often, when we come on the show to be very sincere, we should be able to be very objective. I told my brother Paul, I said the issue is psychological. Since we came out of the war, we have not had serious counseling. The system got broken. So the issues of violence has taken over the state. Police, AFL, it's not the first time. It's not the first time for such thing to happen. I've observed similar things at the same here there be a junction in other regimes. But your issue here was that you said it was because of the legislature, because of political motive. That was why you were living on the legislature. Only for you to see $5 million that has been given to these people to get additional motorbikes, to get additional material, but you cannot see it in the field. Uniforms, other things. So for me, what I believe is that we're going to go much deeper into this issue. We'll invite the IG publicly to come and explain to the legislature and the Liberian people as to how far he gone with in terms of procuring things that are listed in this loan. It's something I can tell you right the show, Kennedy. No politics about it.
Representative, you have the document. Thank you very much. We have to leave this. Again, if you want a document when it comes to issue in Liberia, turn to Spoon. This is what we do best. I really don't sleep. Mommy always gave me a hard time. We exchange document. The reason why I pull it up because Mommy scared me. He said, "Oh, I didn't see it." So I had to go back into our secret. Mommy, I must say, get something in a text chat group that we operate from. It's away from Clinton and Paul Kennedy group.
No,
we can put Paul there. But let's go back something, right? This is the police budget, 2024, $19.5 million, Liberia National Police. So in the estimated odd term, the police went above. Now, 2025, Paul Kennedy, they are giving it $25.3 million, right? The police went above by $1 million. So this is even more concerning. This is even more concerning. Now, last year by election in Nimba, I think it was Nimba and Grand Jide, the police spent almost $500,000. You know what is setting aside to spend this year in Nimba? Guys, we shouldn't do this to our country and say the police is so poor, the police is so broke. No, the police are turned to be damn corrupt. That's the issue. That's the bottom line. Allegation of massive corruption is taking place, which is bringing us to our next conversation. Those concession companies using Liberia National Police, their equipment, everything, but then where the money going? And thank God we have the chair on concession for the family. Before we get to it, guys, I hope you enjoyed this session. We'll continue with the Liberia National Police and the Liberian people. I want us to bring in Judas Seti. Please allow us to do so. Right now it's 11 o'clock in Liberia, 11:02. It's 6:02 here in the United States. And this is Lace, L-A-C-E boss. His name is Julius, S-E-L-E, Seti. These are developing story on money he spent. I know if you go back in history under Madam Salif, or maybe, I don't know which government, George Biden we had, he had something going on and people, the allegation was too hard on him. Here come President Bwaka and the rescue train. They brought him back and say, you be the hell of this. 675,000. Let's reference the Variety newspaper owned by Martin Cuddy. 675,000 for tour backfire. Let's boss hook. I have the banking information. Additional to that 675,000, he took a DSA for almost 45,000 to travel out of the country. Why would he take a DSA, oh my God, for 45,000? Something seriously happening here. Yes, the document. Can it accept my compliments? And as per your request, I present to you the expenditure report of the advance payment of US $675,500 received from the Ministry of Finance and Development Planning for the commencement of legislative support projects. This report is in response to the Senator's request during my appearance before plenary on December 5th, 2024. I therefore accept full responsibility for this report. Sincerely yours, Julius K. Seti, Executive Director. Breakdown. Vehicles, travel DSA, district, local, I think it's a consultation, media engagement. We asking all the media people out there. He said he gave you 37,500 for media engagement. We asking all of you. It's right there. Consultant and engineers, 45,000. Mosorado assessment tour, 11,000. Office support, office supply, it comes up to 97,000. County office space engagement, negotiation, it was Nimba County, Bon County, Basel County, Bomi County, Grand Jide, and Lofa County, $21,000. This is what we can tell you. We'll be placing a phone call to some of the folks in those counties. There's a gentleman from Lofa County say, I hosted the team that came to Lofa County. They didn't pay me a dime. So he challenged Judas to say, tell me, show us receipt, and let's go into the conversation. After this document, my people, Judas went outside of the country, and his DSA was $45,000. It got nothing to do with this one that happened in the country. So here we are. We are in a situation. I want to start this conversation with Abdullah Mame. Talk to me, my friend.
I don't know whether I should start with the president. The last time I said on the show, President Bouaka needs to show to his official what makes him vexed, what makes him angry. I think this is something that should really make him angry. Let's put corruption aside a little bit. This one smells corruption from beginning to end. But let's just put corruption. Let's just assume there is no corruption and come to what decision our leaders are making with our money. Let's agree you can go and make the justification that you went through all the procurement process and everything went well. You did due diligence and procurement. Let's take that out and say, all your procurement process went well. What sense does it make to spend over 600,000 on consultation? What sense does it make as an agency responsible to address development issues, community development? You're spending 600,000 just on consultation. Let's agree all your procurement process right, which is not the case. But let's just assume without admitting that all your procurement process right. It comes back to what are we prioritizing as a country? What are we prioritizing as head of agencies? That you're spending 600,000 on consultation rather than 600,000 to build chairs and put in schools. See here, the man is telling you he spent 133,000 on vehicle rental. So let's agree you went through all your procurement process right. Then it comes back to the question, what are you thinking that you will spend 133,000 on vehicle rental to go and have consultation with people? Office supply, 97,000 US dollars in a short period of time. I think it's the point where the president needs to show what's making him angry. And these are some of the things he needs to use to show to the rest of the other people what makes him angry so that they can stay away from it. This is just one piece. Come to the salary, to the area he had to do with travel allowance. We can talk here all the time, Central. We can complain all the time. If we don't put in place structure to address these issues, I mean, there is possibility where there are other 10, 15, 20 institutions doing this, just that only manage to get one. But how can we address it structurally? Everywhere I've worked, here in America, every time I travel, nobody take money and put it in my pocket. These institutions we work for are institutions that the government of Liberia come and beg and ask for money. But these institutions to manage and safeguard resources do not put money in your pocket. They gave you debit cards and say, go use it in Liberia. They gave you mobile money. You said in other institutions in Liberia are using mobile money for pedants. So go there, use mobile money. Don't put money in people's hands. The more you expose the money to these people, the more you increase the chances of them taking state resources. So yes, one, the president needs to use examples like this to show to the rest of the other people what makes him angry, but we need to put in place structural issues to address these things rather than addressing them one at a time, picky-pocky. You find one today, you talk about it. You find another one, you talk about it. But there are thousands other that we're not identifying. What system can we put in place to control all of these?
Thank you very much, my man. That's the question everybody asked. I will keep the representative for last. Wanto, let's hear you.
So I think Mama said everything. This is very terrible. Terrible for, you know, when you find yourself working in a developmental space that has structure, and you realize that people making literally taking 45,000 for allowance. That's literally that's some people annual salary there, 45,000, and it's very, very concerning. When you listen to the speech of President Bouaka during inauguration, he proposed a theory of having a country that cramp down on exceptional corruption, ensuring that the country functions in a way where systems are being placed to be able to avoid this kind of situation. Starting in less than a year, in less than 2 years, this is very scary for Liberia. Very, very scary. And beyond just what Abdullah read, there are a couple of things I also find here. Lace is situated in Mosrado County, How do you spend 11,200 for Montserrat County tour? Very concerning. You know, you spend 84,000 on daily sustained allowance, and you're spending over 11,200 in Montserrat alone for the tour when Liz is headquartered in Montserrat. 133,000 on vehicle rentals. This is very terrible, and I drawn all of the costs out. As it is said, these are all allegations, and I hope that the LCC can investigate and ensure that we can be able to have proper precedent, because all of these things, the consideration of promoting these things as whistleblower is to have a precedent set out for different government officials. Just yesterday, we were talking about over 250,000 spent on a project, without accountability, the Bobolu project. So this has become a trend in Liberia that if we don't set precedent, we'll obviously be entering into a state where public office will be a space to get rich without accountability, and this is exactly what we need to be able to avoid. So this is very, very concerning, and I think there should be immediate actions.
Very much. Thank you very much, Wanto. The Liberian people will know this, but now, additional to that, time I'm coming to you. The brother travel overseas. His DSA was over 45,000 US.
Mm-hmm.
Talk to us.
Well, thank you, Stanton. I think the previous speakers actually make the point, but I'm going to disagree a little bit with Mambe where he said we need to set up structure, mechanism. I think Liberia, we don't have a lack of laws. We have the GAC, the General Election Commission. We have the LACC. We have we have so many organizations or structures that have been set up to fight graft and waste in government. What is lacking in Liberia, Stanton, and my fellow panelists, is a lack of implementation. It's a lack of implementation. It's a lack of leadership. And I'm going to keep focusing on leadership tonight because that's the team I'm going with this week. When you have someone like that going on a county tour and expensing over $600,000+ USD, that money could go to healthcare, to improve a clinic in Lofa County or somewhere in Shasstown. That money could go to a school to renovate, maybe put equipment. So for me, this is what needs to be done. If I were president of Liberia today, I would suspend that individual pending an investigation, and if he's found liable, he's found that he dipped his hands, because it just shows that they are gaming the system. Paperwork doesn't mean that what you did or the money you took is legit. It just means that you know how to game the system. You can go in, someone at finance ministry, people who can get the money out. You do the paperwork, you put the money through the system, and the money comes out on the other side and you get it. That's corruption at the highest level. That needs to stop. This individual should be suspended pending investigation and should be prosecuted.
Thank you very much. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. We are talking about the late Executive Director, Julius Silly, in the corrupt conversation of 675,000 United States dollars. His letter admitting, yes, indeed, he received 675,500 United States dollars. Wherefore, you can make this your own. There you go, you have it. A vehicle rental alone, $133,000. Now I can sit here and show so many bank different documents. The question remains, LACC is overwhelmed. What can the government do? Everywhere, every agency, every entity, you get the massive corrupt activities happening in Port Kennedy. Today is LACE. Today, they are in some serious issue here because you know what? It's a Liberian agency for community empowerment, but these guys are empowering themselves and they're packing Port Kennedy. What say you? Paul, are you with us?
Trying to unmute. I was trying to unmute. Thank you. Look, foreign in that Japan, that's Jeta player Japan. So it's not You know, I was just saying that my brother footed and got a black cloth to put in front of the paper, and the paper not seeing behind the black cloth, and they get there doing all kinds of things. Wento was right. How do you
Can you help us, please?
How do you give $42,000, $11,000 just to do a review in Monrovia, and you allocated $350,000 for Bapolu Hospital? You only get $35,000 the whole year, but this man is taking $45,000 to travel to go as a DSA. Who's taking the money? You know, and I doubt that anything is going to happen to him, because we've had incidents of corruption, even in the first lay office, where somebody was giving a 419 scholarship and they end up suspending him one day. I think the next day he came back to work. So, look, if Thomas is right, this is not about system. The president just appointed a government performance efficiency office. What is that office doing? That's the office that's supposed to be reviewing some of these things. If I want to go on assessment, and don't get me wrong, I think the list director general should go around to be able to see some of these things with his own eye. But in a country, in a situation where we don't have money, you'll be renting car for $100,000. Come on, man. This is beyond anything imaginable. You can clearly see the waste. Let's say there was not even a corruption there, but there's a waste.
They are giving the system.
There's a waste and abuse. So, look, Thomas, let's say we don't want to call it corruption, right? Because we don't have the evidence. But clearly, this is
what evidence you don't have. Everything you don't have evidence. We give it to you, you say you don't have it. That's corruption. We got plain records.
This is waste and abuse in a country that is trying to, the university library is looking for money all around so that our brothers and sisters can go to school. The JFK, the equipment are down. They are not calibrated, because one of those equipment to calibrate it is almost $200,000-300,000. There's the garden there. Nobody is working on it. People go there. They can't have services, but somebody is asking for $600,000 to go on assessment. I mean, for you can't tell. You're save us, man. We are drowning in this country. You really need to hold government, the executive branch of government, responsible, and that's the legislature supposed to do that with the oversight. But you're not doing the oversight. You're divided.
Thank you very much. Let me bring you 40. 40, let's stick to this conversation for a minute, 40.
Okay, so Stanton, you know, sometimes I really sit back and listen to people providing their opinion. Sometimes it's that I just don't have a different side of the story, but it's just good to listen to people. Let me say this to you. I'm not an official spokesperson for the list, but there are a few things that I can acknowledge. And based on the conversation being objective, I can tell you for free. I heard one of our panelists, I think is Wanto, he said list is in Monserrado, how will they transport people in Monserrado? This is what I'm aware happening, and we need to just justify what is written on that budget. Lawmaker campaign, they recommended communities that government projects should affect. They believe those communities are in dire need of government projects. Those community listings were sent to the list. In Monserrado, there are districts that Todi are far to reach communities with bad roads. I know a representative who have complained that you cannot use mobile money in certain part of Monserrado. There's no good network in certain part of Monserrado based on the fact that there are less population and the mobile company are not taking advantage of those areas because they will not make profit. So lawmakers are complaining. Our issue was, one, let's you go to all the sites to verify them. I cannot speak to how they use the money, but I can tell you, we were very clear as lawmaker. We said, go to all of the sites. Take for an example, some of the areas that were recommended. A community in Sanoye was recommended. A community in Forma was recommended. And I can speak to the fact that the team on list went to that community, they slept in the bush to verify the site. So the issue is whether listen team in the field. Yes, I can say for free, there are people who went to our district to verify as to whether those communities were really in need of some of the issues that was being raised. In this country, if you were here want to go out of town, all that thing you're talking, you own a perfect network. Tomorrow I'll be in my district, some area I'll be going, no network. So if they give you mobile money, you'll never take it out. You either go to unconventional options that will require people either withdrawing money. It's not justifiable, but it's something that we need to know what situation leaders are in and they are taking decisions. All I can say for you, I will not say corruption. I will say we need to verify. Is it true that people went in the field where they're renting vehicles to reach out to these communities that are hard to reach? If it is true, how much was paid? What is it that is required for one to rent a vehicle? Was it legitimate? Was it negotiated? Were there options out there that they could take advantage of? In the face of all of the conclusions, then I can say someone is corrupt. But not to come and say, let us consider it as corruption. We need to verify all of these things, and it is necessary that the conversation comes to the public. I cannot speak for Liz, but I can speak to the fact that people went into our district to verify these sites. And if it is intended for those sites, we need to know whether the companies involved, whether they have legitimate document to be able to defend the kind of amount. I would not raise such an accusation. If I do that, it means I'm very judgmental, and we need to be very objective in facing some of these problems.
Yeah,
so let me clarify what
when I ask you to do so, it's only fair not to because you're a lawmaker. But what happened, Paul? You want to come in?
Who I?
No, I thought Paul was saying something. But my issue is
Paul, Paul issue is just the political process attaching the spirit thing. Yeah.
For the look at the document, a call for more explanation, and you'll be surprised when the rest of the document comes up tomorrow that this executive director using over 45,000 as DSA outside of the country. I'm not going to put you in a position because your district, I don't know whether you received the 400,000 or whether you received the 50,000. So in it all, I do believe whether you presented your construction company or whether you make recommendation or whether you left it with the people, either or, I really don't care. But I don't think somebody was able to you have no more right to speak because you guys received the money. What did you do with your money? Or no, I'll give you a chance. Or your district received the money, and what was your recommendation? Because the executive director receiving not only 675,500, but even more. On the amount you receive, as per the agreement between the legislature, Paul Kennedy, and that of Liz also get 10% on each amount received. So if Honorable Ford family receiving $100,000, 10% is what I want to, and at 10,000, right? So if Monserrato Senator receiving 150,000, 10% is 15,000. So you do the math. 73 lawmakers, you're talking about times about 10. There's a lot of money running all of that place. I will give you the chance to respond, Honorable Man. Go ahead.
So let me say this to you, Stanton. The first thing is that if you look at the budget, the recast, the amount for legislative projects, this issue of people raising red flag on issues in the public, it was raised and that amount was reduced. It came down to the point where I think it was around 45,000, between 45 to 50,000. The issues of engineers redesigning projects came about. If you look out there, I saw engineer redesigning because there was a time where Liz Boss was invited to the legislature to come and update people as to what was unfolding. No lawmaker would go and sit and say, give me money from community. For some of us, we believe that responsibility should be on the contracting firm locally, that they can go ahead and implement projects that will befit the community.
But
so
maybe not you, Honorable Ford.
For me, I cannot speak for other people, but I'm clear that I cannot do that. I cannot do that.
We know they recommended their own construction company. They recommended for that. So maybe it's not you, and I respect that of you. But I would beg for us to leave it there because tomorrow we'll continue with this story. I'm really trying to manage the time well, and then we will move ahead to the next one. Our next story is, listen, let's talk about Summit 12. We'll keep Honorable Ford Concession a committee for last. Let's talk about Summit 12. Let us, I beg you, we got to keep it for last, my man. Just hold on, I beg you, Representative. Let's talk about Summit 12. This is very important in our country. Before we do that, I'm going to put this on Liberia. U.S. court dismisses Senator Nukwe lawsuit challenging U.S. visa ban. Senator Emmanuel Nukwe filed a case in the United States court, challenging them. So why are you stopping me from coming to your country? Why you don't want to give me visa? Why are you putting restriction on me? He went after the former Tony Blinken, the former how you call it, Secretary General, and here we are today. They dismissed his case. I was able to speak to Senator Nukwe, and I also spoke to Senator Nukwe's his lawyer, Mame. His lawyer is scheduled to appear on Spoon Talk on Tuesday. He will be appearing here on Tuesday. His lawyer is based in New York. There's a lot of catch to this story. I'm not going to go into it. We're going to speak off the surface, but I know what I was told, and the lawyer will be speaking to those different issues that led to the United States government dismissing Senator Nukwe's case. Mame, what say you on this one?
When we hear from the lawyer, we get more opinion on it. I think Senator Nukwe is trying to make a case that either they wrongfully charge him or deny him visa to come to the U.S. I don't know where he was going with that to make a case that you must be given visa, because the U.S. visa is not a right. They will always tell you, even if they give you the visa and you arrive at the border of entry, the officer there can deny you entry just for reasons why he believes you're not safe. So it's not your right to come to the U.S. I'm not a lawyer. I don't know what case that lawyer was making to show that he has a right to come, or maybe the news headline is different from what he was actually pursuing. Maybe he was making a case for them to drop the restriction on him and trying to prove why they should drop it. But let's wait for the lawyer to come and more pieces will add together.
Thank you, Mame. 1-2-1-2. What say you?
Yeah, so it's a very interesting case, Stanton. And again, I did read a story. What he was challenging is that, irrespective of the sanction ban, the U.S. Because the United Nations is an independent operating space in the U.S. where public leaders from all around the world attend. So regardless of issue, his argument was that he should have, privilege to the United Nations headquarters, regardless of the lawsuit. So the U.S. State Department imposed sanction on December 12, 2023, which we all know significant corruption. But the ruling from the Supreme Court, the U.S. Federal Court, state that the decision on Section 703 is discretionary and it cannot be reviewed by the courts. And they also said that the doctrine of consular non-reviewability means that it prevents interference on visa decision, just as Ambula said. So it's a very interesting case. Again, as usual, what we know for sure is that it's very impossible to be able to veto the U.S. Decision when it comes to the visa process, especially when it comes to cases of corruption. I wish him all the best. But again, from a broader sense, Stanton, what we see here is that we see the U.S. Setting a precedent for what we should have in our country, ensuring that we have, legal rules and regulations, specifically for cases like this. Our justice system needs to be built on a precedent that is independent and that is set up to be able to prosecute, cases that jeopardize, the state coffers, especially with the issue of list that we are speaking of right now.
Thank you very much, Juanto. Let me bring in Tamba. Tamba, what say you about Emmanuel Nukwe? Can you unmute, please?
Yeah, thank you, Stanton. Well, as Juanto said, first of all, we have traveled to the U.S. We've lived in the U.S. for some time. You can be given a visa and even a consulate. Say, for example, you go to the American Embassy in Liberia, and they grant you a visa. You're like, oh, well, you're going to go to America. And you can come to the port of entry, either in New York or in New Jersey, Newark, or wherever entry. And they can deny you right there. Those officers have the discretion and the power to deny you. But let me just talk about, Senator Nukwe. I think he needs to really get his priorities straight. Why is he being denied a visa? He needs to get to the bottom of that. Is it because he's been sanctioned? Is it because he's been involved in corruption? Right? And when our leaders really take accountability and responsibility for their action, what leads to these things, then they can be better leaders. Other than that, it's a waste of resources and a waste of time, and he should be serving his people in his constituency instead of running behind a lawsuit to try to get a visa to come to America. I think if we can build Liberia, we'll not even be fighting to come to America. And that's my message to him and the Liberian people.
Thank you very much. Well, Representative, talk to us. What do you think? What's going on? What's the game plan here by Senator Nukwe?
I think Senator Nukwe is a good man. His intent is that he should not be found guilty without judgment. I think so. He's trying to set the record straight. He thinks if there are records out there, you need to show it to the public, and you should not be punishing people. But the other side about it is that America is just America. They are the world power. They do whatsoever they wish. It's not something for us to justify. A lot of their actions has never been something that they can put into a regular intellectual space for people to debate it. America supported the Ukraine to the Russian process. Now they are saying it is time for peace. Whether Ukraine is not ready, they are moving to peace. So that's just America. And it's just for those who have more interest in going to America to live.
I will ask a question, then we do one more before we get into Representative. We got to talk about 712. My question to you, and Mame and the rest of the guys, so Emmanuel Nukwe, was he doing it for himself, or he was doing it for all those that were placed on sanction? Because imagine if Emmanuel Nukwe were going to fly through this one, it was going to benefit the rest of the guys, Mame. Am I correct?
Yeah, I'm going to open a window for them to say, okay, if Nukwe can go through it and get free, then let me explore the opportunity to get free.
Do you think
so, Stanton, for me, I can tell you it's just a waste of time. That's just America. That's just the arrogance of being America. They decide who enter their country and they argue and say whatsoever. If they say, don't condemn my brother, you got country and live here and live happy. Fight for the system to be better, support the hospitals, support the schools, and let us move ahead with our life. Some of us, we have never been to America, we have not died. We're still living happily in the little corners we find ourselves and trying to make life better.
Your case is different, Fudi. Your case is completely different. And
I think he wanted to test the law, and that was the result. There's no big news about it.
I'm glad you agree with me, Honorable Fudi, but also this sends a message to corrupt leaders. Look, I have nothing against Nukwe. I know the man. I may not be close to him. But when America sanctions you, to put you
America is doing business with even worse criminal in the world. They are never sanctioned.
America protects.
For that, beg you, sir. Let's do it one at a time. Finish up.
America protects its interests. It doesn't matter who America deals with. I mean, you see what happened today between President Trump and President Zelensky of Ukraine in the White House. It's all over the news. But America protects its interests. If America puts you on that destination list and they say you are corrupt, you've been sanctioned, you're going to make sure you don't get a visa to come in this country. And in Liberia, people who know where to do, people who are elected to a position of authority, they have resources, they come to America. America is that status symbol for people who come here to say, I have the opportunity to go to America, and they can come back and flaunt that as a status symbol. And America sends a message to them. If you are corrupt leader, you've been sanctioned, we're not going to let you in our country. Simple as that.
Thank you very much. Mama, you want to say something? I want to finish up very quick.
So I was just telling Fode, there's a different case here. Some people are on sanctions, some people are on visa restriction. Visa restriction different from sanction. But whatever the case is, Fode, whatever the case is, whether you want Kai America to live, you don't want Kai America to live, as a politician, as a public servant, if you are sanctioned, what a visa restriction by the US government, it's not a good thing. It's not.
No, but my make get man to start the story. My thing here is that the guys has been sanctioned. One of them have decided to even test the law. My thought about how to see America is to look at Liberia and moving into a conversation that Liberia is the first that I have. I should move into a conversation and believe I'm going onto this table to protect the interests of Liberia, nothing else. So whether who living in America, how they want to treat their country, I should be able to fight and protect the interests of Liberia. That's my position about it. He wanted to test the law. He has gone through the process. Maybe there are other options available to him. He's a lawyer and he'll try to use the law available to him.
Thank you very much. We have to make progress here. Let me bring in the Samuel Twain story, guys. We got Samuel Twain.
Why don't they speak on it?
One to did, but one to want to do second.
Yeah, I wanted to get a clarification.
One to fighting for American citizenship, forget what
no, I don't look. I'm one of the person that have very extreme opinion when it comes to these issues. But again, I respect the rule of law. One is that the senator has legitimate right to challenge whatever U.S. case code. We provide that to him. Every other person has the right to challenge. The law is open for challenge as well. But what I see here, Stanton, is that if you read the case, what he's challenging is a very clever challenge. He used something called the United Nations entrance as opposed to challenge. So basically what he said is that the ban prevented him from attending official meeting at the United Nations headquarters, and it violated the United Nations agreement, which grants foreign officials to enter the UN premises. It's a very, 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 very interesting challenge. The reason why this is interesting is that according to the United Nations Charter, every foreign official, regardless of what the U.S., if you have issue with the U.S., you have access to the UN premises. Russia and U.S. can be in conflict. At the General Assembly meeting, the Russian president has a right to present delegation at the UN headquarters because the UN headquarters is a neutral premise under the UN Charter. So do I think, what he's challenging is providing a gateway to other officials to challenge? I think in some way or other, they provide gateway to officials who are currently in government because his challenge is most centered around the fact that as a current official, he don't have access to the UN headquarters. But again, in my privilege, I don't think everything the US said means that it's letter. We're seeing issues like the RCC case being challenged. We see a lot of human rights laws being challenged. So for sure, everyone should challenge that. I think that's the clarification I wanted to make.
Thank you very much, Anto. Again, we hope we can have you guys joining us tomorrow. We want to say thank you as always. We'll be on time tonight with the show, but we got 20 more minutes to go. Let's bring in the Samuel Twain issue real quick. Ladies and gentlemen, Samuel Twain had something on the floor and the judge denied, dismissed, and said, my man, we have to proceed in order. So what say you about this Samuel Twain stuff? I love the song you always play, but we don't have the song right now, so we're going to bring in what we saw today. This is Samuel Twain from yesterday. They went back to court today, and the ruling came forth, and the judge said, listen, my friend, we have to proceed. We cannot dismiss this case. I want to know you guys follow the story. What say you? Let me play Arthur Johnson Clay. Arthur Johnson was on fire today, the lawyer to Samuel Twain.
Arthur Johnson, welcome to the media. Arthur Johnson, good morning. How are you doing, gentlemen? What do you know of today's ruling? Well, today's ruling, we know that the judge has scrapped onto himself an authority that he doesn't have. When specific provisions of the Constitution are raised as subject matter of discussion in a trial, a court of limited jurisdiction, specifically a trial court, does not have the authority to interpret the Constitution. That authority is ascribed to the full bench of the Honorable Supreme Court. To date, the judge had indeed agreed that the former officials of government are immune from any criminal prosecution or judicial inquiry for acts committed of us carry out while serving as members and statutory members of the National Security Council and principal advisors and agents of the presidency. That immunity of the president that extends to the advisors of the president and the agent, that immunity can never be subjected to judicial review in a court of law. The courts shall refrain from conducting inquiry on the basis that any attempt will compromise national security. In fact, it's on the other way around. Why we should be protecting the protection of national secrecy, I see the government proceeding to expose national security operations, especially about expenditure during elections to keep this country safe from threats to the elections.
So if you agree that the judge ruled against you, if you agreed that the judge in his ruling admitted that it was right for them, why did he rule against you and then he took an exception to the Supreme Court?
Is that with the wisdom of the judge? The next thing is,
we got to call it short. It's on his home page. You can watch it. Mommy, let me come to you first. That's Councilor Arthur Johnson, the lead counsel for Samuel Detour and others. Talk to me.
No, I beg to leave. I gotta go. Got an emergency.
No, okay, but
I'm going for dinner.
You want to close on this real quick before you leave? We're not hearing you. We are not hearing you.
I was not paying attention. I'm getting
Okay,
ready
well,
to
thank
go
you very
out.
much. Happy birthday again.
Come on, will take that. And my mother
Thank you very
All
much.
right, I will take your 1 minute plus mine.
I gotta go.
Thank you very much. Mama, let's hear you on this issue now. Talk to us.
I mean, I listened to Arthur. Few things show up to me. One, he said the judge have agreed that the people got immunity, but the contradiction is the judge ruling says different, right? If you read the judge ruling, the judge say you do not have immunity, will go along with the case. But Arthur Johnson is telling the press and the public that the judge agreed that the officials of government are under the immunity. I'm not a lawyer, but it sounds contradicting to me. The judge is telling you that the case will continue because you do not have immunity. Then you come to the public, you lost the case, then you come to the public and say the judge has agreed. The second part that got me also confused that probably Arthur will need to clarify is, he said the judge doesn't have a jurisdiction. It doesn't have authority to make a decision. So if that judge doesn't have any authority, then why did you take your case to him? That could be a technical legal issue for somebody to explain, but not be a lawyer. If the judge did not have authority to make a decision on your case, why did you take your case to him? So you took your case to him, he heard your case, and he ruled against you. But put a court case one side. I'm not interested so much in what will happen in the court. What I'm interested in is what happened and what Samuel Twe and the people are trying to do. Basically, Samuel Twe and others are saying, do not prosecute me. We withdrew the money. We use the money. We cannot explain to you how we use the money. Do not prosecute me because I was acting on the president's instruction. And the reason for which I use the money, the hardcore security thing, I cannot explain it to anybody. That's exactly the argument they're making. I use the money for security reason. I cannot explain.
So are you saying that Samuel Twe and his team admitting now that they used the money?
Exactly. They admitted that they used the money, but they used it for security reason, for election purpose. You listen to the lawyer. He said they used it to bring peace and security to the election. So therefore, they can't explain it. They use it because President Weah gave them instruction. And because of the president's instruction, they are free from going.
How can you differentiate the Brian Samuka story with Madam Sadiq?
I don't even want to go into Brian Samuka. Yes, some of the differentiation here. You argue that you use this money for national security issue. Let's assume that's true. At the National Security Council, there is no report on how you use the money. At the FIA, whose account was used to withdraw the money, there is no record on how you use the money. So national security money, you can use it, you can disclose it to the public, but you can provide report to the National Security Council. You can keep record on file to the FIA and the NSA. You go to NSA, records are there on all national security money. The only thing they don't put it in the public. But for this transaction, you go to FIA, no record. You go to National Security Council, no record. So how did you use this money when the national security has no record, the FRA has no record? Most importantly and lastly, the officer, the staff who went to withdraw the money, Moses Cooper, probably will need to put a picture up too. Moses Cooper, who went to take the money from Central Bank, who was the accountant at FRA, is telling the investigator that when he went there, he received call and they told him to leave the money at Central Bank. The person who he claimed he left the check and the money with at Central Bank, the person is saying Moses did not leave any money with me.
So what the money?
That the question Samuel Tweden do not want to answer, for which they're saying they should drop the case. When the case is open, we will know what happened to the money.
And I think this to be continued, folks. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much. We got one more topic to go after this one, and then we'll say thank you for joining us. Let's bring in Tamba. Tamba, what's your take on this lawsuit?
Well, thank you, Stanton. Well, I hear guys say CEO, but I'm going to say Stanton because I think both first name.
And that's fine.
Well, first of all, I mean, Arthur Johnson is a brilliant lawyer. There's an echo. I'm not sure what that's for me, but let me see. Is that for me? Mama, is that you? Okay. Johnson is a brilliant lawyer. He's my cousin, by the way, just so you guys know, disclaimer. But he and I, we are not in contact. We don't talk regularly. I have followed the lawsuit. I've heard his statement today. I think he contradicts himself. Great guy. I think they're going to lose, and Tour is going to be prosecuted for what they did. If you say the judge doesn't have authority to interpret the Constitution, why go in front of him? Then you say again, oh, well, we leave the judgment based on the judge's wisdom. So I think that's a contradiction. And then I will go to the Brandon Samuka issue. So if you don't know, I was a senatorial candidate in the 2020 senatorial elections in Lofa County. I ran against Brandon Samuka. I came 6 out of 11 candidates. But what I would say is I think that's the most recent precedent that I can refer to when Ellen Justice Sirleaf basically told Brandon Samuka, I didn't give you authority. I didn't give you a letter to do what you did. So you can be Minister of Finance or Minister of Defense. If the president doesn't give you tacit authority or authorization to say go and do X, Y, and Z, and then you work with a cartel, whatever he did. Look, I was not in their government. I don't know what happened behind the scenes, but it seems as if he may have operated with a group of people with a cartel to get that money out of the system. As I said earlier about the guy who took the $600,000+, as stipend. Basically, they are gaming the system, and they have gamed the system to take that money out to divide it among themselves. And I think he's going to lose in this case, and he's going to be prosecuted. And then I hope that justice can be served to serve as a deterrent for me for the next finance minister or for the next defense minister. Thank you.
And you are predicting that he's going to lose.
Yes, that's
he referring to is Samuel Twede.
That's my prediction, and I hope the courts and the judicial system is strong on this case, because look, Samuel Twede is a loyalist to George Manawia and is a leader within the CDC rank and file. We understand what happened over the last 6 years, and he's one of the most prolific figure that's been prosecuted now. And I think if by the system is going to send a message. But again, that's my prediction, and I hope that's what it could does. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Let me bring in Walter real quick, then we got to bring in 40 on this one.
Great. Just judging from the last statement, I think I'm not a lawyer, but there is one thing that I hold, very constant in this case. One, former Minister Samuel Twede has a right under the Liberia Criminal Law Procedure and the Liberia Judicial Act, established guidelines for prosecuting and defending individuals, and they emphasize the presumption of innocence until guilty on both our national law, international law, the Universal Declaration of Human Rights, Article 10, the International Covenant Law, the Civil Political Rights Law, even Article 14 of the CCPR. So having said that, I think we should allow this play in court, ensuring that we do not have political interpretation of the law, and ensuring that he continue to maintain that presumption of innocence until guilty, and avoiding political, assumed motive. And the reason why I state this is because with the inclusion of political assumed motive, where the government desire to set a precedent in the midst of massive failure of governance outcome, then that would be able to play on the right of having a fair and judicial trial in court. And that's my
Thank
specific
you.
view on that.
Thank you very much. It's also good to have you, Wanto. Let's finish this off with my brother 40. 40, what I mean, as a sitting lawmaker, what are you seeing here?
I think the issue is in court. Similar issue happening in this country. And most often from my own readings about the politics around the world, some of the presidents have been playing the people around them. I say this to say, most American presidents, it's just that most of our colleagues just don't follow the Western politics. When they are leaving, since they are aware they made people around them to take decisions that has to do with national security interests, they usually do future pardon, unconditional pardon for actions that those individuals got involved in. They are strategically moving ahead to put in place a check. But in this country, some of the presidents, I think they believe there should be a leeway. It has been something good for us because they're not the first minister being prosecuted. Let us see what happened in court and let the justice that everyone yearn for. I think the minister have asked that he want to go to court. He's in court. What play out in the court we will look forward to the results from the court. There's no personal opinion I want to express in that.
Thank you very much. I'm concerned though, real quick, maybe 5 or 10 seconds. I'm concerned from the, and maybe Mambe will take us home. I don't want to put you in a situation here. Do you think, Mambe, that Senator got something under his sleeve here to go after lawmakers, former and current, and bring up secrets, especially those in this government? Thomas Fala, Deputy Speaker Richard Kuhn, now Speaker of Majority Black. He can either go after former Speaker or current Speaker number 1, Funati Kofa, go after Jeremiah Kuhn, where he was a senator or representative. Do you think the government is so afraid that if you push Samuel Twas so badly, he will spill the beans?
I think so. I think that Samuel Twas was a finance minister. There is almost practically no transaction, major transaction, or small transaction that he wouldn't have information about. I believe he has information that when he posts out, it will be a can of worm. But I want to encourage him to do that. I want to encourage him to really do that. Let's know what's the cartel, where are they seated, regardless of where it falls. People have raped this country. In this case, if Samuel Twas makes the argument that I put 500,000 into a bank account, withdrew it the same day, spend it, and get no record in any national security file, but come to court and say, I did it for national security reason, you know what it does? It makes all the other people now in government believing that I can just put money somewhere, take it and eat it, and the next day when the next government comes, or even the same government takes me to court, I say I use it for national security reason. It's sending a message to NSA. It's sending a message to FIA. It's sending a message to Gregory and other people. If the man wins the case, you ask him for Gregory $6 million, Gregory will tell you that $6 million we use it for national security reason we can explain. So let the court deal with this matter. Let Samuel Twas, whatever information he has on whoever, let him release the information that the public know. We need to clean this place up.
Thank you very much, Mambe. I have to thank you, Mambe. We have to move on, please, guys. We got about 6 more minutes. We were squeezing something very quick. We're going to bring in Honorable Man for the Formula. It was a great show. You are the chair on concession in the House of Representatives. Something bad is happening out there. We'll give you the chance. We heard you talking about presenting some documentation, going after these people, one of which you now invited your own mind folks. And they said the man is outside of the country. You guys are demanding that he show face on Tuesday. Bring us up to speed on their concession and the way forward, yes, sir.
So I think some of the reason why we had some issues in the legislature was that we were calling for accountability when it comes to how we can hold these concessionaires accountable to some of the documents they sign up to. We inherited bad deals. That's the first thing I would like to say. And I, as a speaker, Speaker Kuhn has ensured that he's putting in place mechanism that will help to put in place system and fight the abuse of state resources. The first thing that has happened in the legislature in recent time has been the speaker ensuring that there is a department to be set up, that he has set up, the Department of Internal Audit, to lay out the financial foundation for audit to be conducted in the legislature. That's the first thing he has embarked on, and he's ensuring that he can get the best results out of what is unfolding now. The next thing is to ensure that concessionaires, we inherited bad deals, and some of those deals, there has been lack of transparency on the part of how the concessions were signed. People were not informed about basic issues, and a lot of issues has happened in this country. Some of the concessions that should be reviewed within the 5 years period, they have not been. We put in place a lot of unnecessary clauses that undermine the country, and all of the issues you can talk about the issues of low wages in concession areas, the issues of performance, the issues of concessionaire internally shifting contracts to companies that favor them of their own alignment, citizen alignment. So a lot of things has happened. And Speaker Kuhn has ensured that the joint committee to investigate and review all of these concessions has been established. They are made of 5 committees: the Committee on Contract, the Committee on Labor, the Committee on Mines and Energy, the Committee on Judiciary, and the Committee on Investment and Concession that serve as lead. The essence is to invite them, is to bring out all of the specific social contribution and areas that we have issues with, to raise these issues and bring it to plenary for review to ensure that plenary can take a decision. Let me say this to you, Standard. One of the things I have observed about all of the concessions, take for example, China Union. A company comes and signs a concession in Liberia. They do not have the capacity. They walk around the region, around the world, in search of investors. They contract those investors, sell those contracts, huge money, like the Illinito deal, make millions of dollars. Those contractors, those firms come in as contracting firms with less burden because they are not the concessionaires. They start to contract people. So you observe one of the major reasons why we are inviting the China Union CEO to leave from China. He sent us his ticket. It's because we have observed over 5 different Chinese companies in the concession being contracted when China Union has scaled down her workforce. When you ask them, they will tell you, say, hey, we are contractors. We are not here permanently. It is China Union you should go after. So we need to review all of these documents. Moreover, you have our police. Instead of the company hiring private security to empower Liberians, our police are instructed to provide security for some of the people. So we want to review these things to see whether we can hold people accountable and recommend strong positions from the legislature that will bring people concessionaire to book and hold them accountable of things they are signed onto. So that is where we are headed. It is for that as video setup.
You have hearing coming up this week coming, right?
Yes, this weekend, the next new week, we're going to have an engagement meeting. We are inviting the committee, the Ministry of Mines, the Concession Bureau, the Bureau of Investment. We are inviting the Environmental Protection Agency, the Ministry of Labor to set up the foundation, because we're going to have a crack team from the executive, from the legislature, inviting the city and invite those concessionaires to come. And specifically, we can go through all of those areas that we believe that to benefit our people and we are not benefiting. And we'll go into the field to verify some of the information they will be giving us. So I think this is the best point that we can achieve a lot. The speaker we have is not the lawyer for some of the company. And it is because of that we have issues in the House, and we feel it is time to bring the necessary change that we have long time in for.
Thank you very much for that. Let me go to Mame. Mame, talk to us on this issue. This is concerning Mame because you know what? Like the Liberia National Police providing security, using the resources, the logistic that we just talked about for Asalamita and other folks, be mounting and all of them. But yeah, we are. Where that money going for security? It going somebody pocket. I have a whole video and document I will share with you. Under Patrick Sudu LNP, right, there was a big issue about the Liberia National Police providing private security, but using police uniform, police vehicle, everything as protection. It rolled over on a Gregory Coleman. Foley said the other day when he appeared on Spoon, Gregory Coleman left, and he's sitting here. He's working to one of those company, and they are fully protected through and by the Liberia National Police. Am I correct, Honorable Foley? You said that, right? Without hearing you, sir. Without hearing you.
A security firm that has been assigned in the concession with additional police with gun. And it is because of that we are inviting the CEO to Liberia. He cannot stay in China while we discuss this issue. We need to expose some of the things.
Mame.
So let me say this to you. It is because of all of the crime around the country that Speaker Kuhn has ensured that the issue of concessionaires should be brought on the table, and we can find a clear way forward in this country and recommend strong position to the executive. Moreover, as I speak to you, we are currently reviewing the status of Putu Mine, and we're going to come up with a position recommending that to the government as to how the government should proceed. Over 15 years, that concession has been lying there. There's nothing been done. We want to move ahead and ensure that we can take a decision.
Again, thank you very much. Let me bring in Mame. Mame.
The major source of revenue to our country is our natural resource. Whether it's gold, whether it's diamond, whether it's oil. We'll talk about the oil later in the future, maybe a few weeks from now. Whether it is rubber, timber, those are the major sources that our government is depending on to create the budget, to build roads, to build hospitals, to build schools. Unfortunately, however, ever since to today, government has come, government go. The approach to natural resources in Liberia have always been the same. Private companies enjoy, government officials enjoy, the masses of the people suffer. That approach has not changed. Private companies make millions, government officials enjoy, the masses of the people suffer from this natural resource that we depend on to solve the country's problem. The role of the legislature has been very pivotal, strong in this exploitation of the people. It is good that I'm hearing that they want to rise up to the occasion to begin to address it. I gave it the benefit of the doubt. But what Fode is saying, this is not my first time hearing it. This is not my second time, this is not my third time, this is not my fourth time. Every time lawmakers creating an opportunity to get some money in their pockets or to bring concession under the condition where they can give them some benefits, they create this scene. We summoning you, we investigating your concession, and after 2 weeks, the story ends, we go back to zero. Fode, this is a challenge to you. This is not an accusation on you. This is a challenge to you to prove that you can do it differently. But forever, this has been the approach. And we're talking about Western Cluster, how they changed the Mineral Development Agreement to MOU, and we made all the noise. How they were not living up to even the MOU. Yeah, we today will go in year 2. What action have the government taken to improve on that concession? Let's go to B Mountain. We raised all the issues during the campaign. Even though there is a law that says when it's supposed to be reviewed, but even within the review period, they are not meeting their commitment to the people. They are not meeting their commitment to the people. So for it's an opportunity for you. It's a challenge to you and your team to prove that you can do this differently. We cannot continue to be like this over and over. These companies come, they bring legislation to the legislature, they pass few money around, people rectify it, they go, the country remain like that. It has to come to end because that's what we're depending on. Liberia is not sending out knowledge. It's not a knowledge-based economy where we're generating money from something else. We're not generating money from tourism. Basically, we generate money from the natural resources we have. Unfortunately, we mortgage to people who do not have the capacity. We mortgage to people, put small money in our pocket, and the rest of the other countries suffer. It is wrong. This is an opportunity for you to prove that you can do it differently. And we're looking up to you as a young man on how you can do it differently.
Again, guys, let's say this photo is a chair on concession within the majority black caucus. Excuse me?
Legislature.
See that?
With legislature, the Committee on Investment and Concession, I hear that committee. But more than that,
investment and concession. Foley, let's keep you last to finish up. Let me hear from Tamba and Wanto. It's good that you brought in this. We're getting a lot of text messages coming in on this issue as well. Other people are complaining that the Putu Mountain or the Putu Agreement, the Russians are not happy. So maybe when you come back another time, you will help us understand who actually have that concession. Someone sent me a message about the Russian involvement, and now the government wants to take that away from the Russian company. You can help us understand that better, Fode. Tamba, go ahead. What say you to this?
Well, this is a very important topic for us as a country because some time back I share my opinion on extract and the export industry in Liberia, and I say it was not sustainable. We've been doing this for the past close to 200 years. We extract our mines, gold, iron ore, everything. We take the latex from Firestone. Firestone has been in the country for almost 100 years. The extract and export strategy for our economy is not working. It's not sustainable. And part of that is because the legislature has no spine. And I'm sorry, honorable family, this is no pun intended to attack you personally. But I think the legislature of Liberia is the major problem for us. Now, you are complaining about concessionaires or companies that have come in that have been giving concession for 5 years, 10 years, 20 years or more. And now you're telling us that these people can't even deliver. They can't even deliver on their commitment. They can't deliver on their commitment to hire Liberians, to create jobs. They can't deliver on their commitment to send revenue into our coffers. They can't deliver on the technical support or technical training for Liberians to be capable or to be made capable to step in and really understand how much gold we are exporting, how much diamond we are taking from Kumba and other places where we are mining. How much timber is coming from our forest. And that's a problem. As a nation, we are only being exploited. Liberia is only being exploited, and we don't see any value. We don't see any value to our roads. We don't see any value to our schools. We don't see value to the clinics and to the people living in those communities. And these people come in and taking millions and millions of dollars. What happened recently in Burkina Faso, where the young military leader there, and I'm not promoting military dictatorship, but the military leader there stopped the export of gold. And then he seized one of the concessionaires and he stopped them from operating. Over $200 million worth of gold he seized from them. And they had to go through arbitration and they finally agreed to pay years of dividends and revenue and taxes that they owe the government of Burkina Faso. And today they are working towards turning their own gold bars, raw gold, into gold bars that they can export, finished products, or at least value add to the resources that we have. So for me, it's a shame that close to 200 years we haven't addressed this issue, that the legislature is a problem. They are spineless. They can't step up. That each time this issue come up, some will go behind the scene and they will take bribes, and they will take brown envelopes, instead of advocating to move the country forward, instead of advocating for the people who have elected them to represent them. They are there filling their pockets, looking for visas to come to America, riding $65,000 cars. We don't have roads to Lofa County, to Sasstown. It is a shame, Stanton.
Is there a campaign statement?
I'm coming. Don't worry. Don't worry. If that's what you're waiting for, I'm not doing this because I'm campaigning. I have been in advocacy for 20 years, family. Check my records out. They'll tell you that Tama Galas doesn't give up.
Thank you very much.
I'm the underdog. Remember?
Let's get. I'm putting some. Let's get want to talk to us about this thing while we close the show, guys. Again, we have Representative Fambula on that will dig deeper in the story. So let's hear. We have to close the show and let's go to T12.
Sure, Stanton. I think it's a very, very interesting endeavor. There is a critical need to evaluate all of our concessions, especially now that we are in a very important geopolitical situation or multilateral situation when it comes to funding. A few days ago, we saw that 51 million were being hindered from the USAID project, and I think the Minister of Finance spoke on that. That escalated to a $20 million deduction from school feeding program that USAID were funding. In fact, in our budget, we only have $1 million allocated to that school feeding program. So that means 20 million, withdrawn from the USAID project. Is a huge deficit that for a whole year we wouldn't have any school feeding program. Hundreds of children who depends on that will definitely go to bed hungry because of that. So we have a very unprecedented situation. In my background, I've always argued that there is a critical case for self-sustainability when it comes to any country that want to thrive, especially in this current, global world we are in. And I think this evaluation, if it's done with the proper mechanism and some leverage of patriotism, we can be able to have the right concessions. There's a lot of things to think about. Even the social net for some of the companies we have in Liberia is terrible. Recently, we're saying that the working condition is also terrible. Liberians are dying due to the lack of proper, working mechanisms for Liberian workers who are working on hard labor job who have been having the proper pay that can even, provide food on their table. So there are structural issues here. And I think this is a legitimate concern that the legislature should embrace with some level of sincerity, honesty, and a sense of urgency. The other aspect is that beyond just this, there is also a need for us to be able to evaluate how we spend our money. Beyond the fact that just we're thinking about how we look at our concessions, our budget this year is extremely terrible. When you think about the real current expenditure, you think about the state-owned enterprise finances that are being, paid to officials, and we just discussed the list issues. So all of these things have to be holistically discussed. Maybe one day I'll be very happy that, Stanton, you can create a whole show to talk about how we can be able to structure our budget, how we can look at entities that are making far beyond, what civil servants are making in our country. So I think that's my contribution to that.
I want to put something up since our brother 40. If you need information about the Putu Mountain, we have the different agreement. We understand that Putu Mountain actually came into agreement. They were owned by a Russian company called Silver Star. The company was sanctioned by the US and EU. But there's a back and forth with that company. Then the government came out and said, well, through the negotiation of Mamaka ability, $600 million. Now, for this was actually reported in the front page Africa newspaper last year. But if you look at the negotiation, which we have document in our possession, I can share with you likewise. People said Silver Star actually they wanted to take away Putu Mountain from them, a Russian-owned company. And that was a huge back and forth. Senators from Grand Jida County, we have the letter to the Justice Minister. I can share that with you. But your sitting lawmaker, you can request it. There's a big issue about this whole deal. That's the Putu Mountain. Now, let's move ahead to the other, because if you say concession, you've been all over. Now, Mombe asks you for it. What's going on for that? Yeah, let me just mute you because of the background. when they ask you for what's going on with the HPX and ArcelorMittal deal, is it dead? Now we understand that Guinea is having the $18 billion railroad. They will be doing a full delegation in June or July. They don't need to come to the Liberia anymore. Then what's going on with HPX? We have all the documents. But let's end the show, and we know we'll have you again for us to dig deeper. Then we'll make this conversation the first on the plate. It's always good having you. And I hope you had a great time today because our sister not here, and I see you so relaxed. You are not tense, but talk to us.
You know, Stanton, like I said, we inherited bad deals. And it is time for us to ensure that we can put our feet on the table. When we came to the house, it was the first time for the concessionaire to be reviewed, their document, the China Union document. And based on that review, we observed that almost every social phrases were violated. And you will agree with me that China Union went back into that community, they started grading the road, they have communicated with the House Committee on Investment that they want to do the road in March. They provided resources for scholarship. It was just the first time. We need to go beyond these guys and ensure that they can account for the kind of document they sign. Moreover, the PUTU, the HPS, I'm aware, I've heard information that the PUTU and Liberia, we had the HPS conversations at the arbitration stage where Liberia has hired lawyers. But you know why, Stanton? Like I said, bad deals. In Africa, one of the countries that has been listed as a place for arbitration in the eastern region is Kenya. The concessions we sign in Liberia, the code for arbitration is way in the Hague. We discussing issues in Africa, but to have any issues of arbitration, you go to the Hague, pay millions of dollars. And even with the buyers and racist individuals, sometimes those cases are not cases you believe you can win against some of the major investors. So we need to look at the document and we need to publish them. We need to take our time to read them. But they are critical documents that we need to put our feet on the ground. There are some of the concession contract. It will surprise you to note that grand concessionaire lesson within the concession contract. It's just unfortunate. So we inherited all of these things. Like I said to my brother, Tamba, yes, Tamba, I'm aware you contested in Lofa. Sometimes let us just get the politics out small and be very objective. Not everyone who comes in the government have this mind of being corrupt. Not everyone who comes in the government has the mind that they just don't want to change things. Some of us, we are determined to change this country and we are serious about that. But don't forget, the first burden, if you ask me, will be on the legislature that prepare and manage all of the concessions contract we are talking about. They arrange it, they process it, they negotiate those terms and bring it at the legislature.
And who makes the laws? Who makes the laws?
Let me just learn that, Tamba.
Tamba, let's do it one at a time, Tamba, please.
Tamba, you understand the legislature, you can have a dissenting opinion. If there's a majority and they are not from that district, they can pass that concession right from you. Right from you. So we need to be very nationalistic and patriotic to this country. The executive should not bring bad deals. They are the one who most often orchestrate this chaos that we find ourselves in. They bring up all of the bad deals and use politics. Because Tamba, you come from Lofa. If the man in Lofa and all of the lawmakers refuse to sign, the people in Bomi, they're not affected by what happened in Lofa. They must sign it. Those lawmakers from Bomi, the guys from Bapolo, they are not affected. So it is on the basis of numbers and politics. So the executive, for me, should not be bringing deals that they believe undermine the interests of the state. We can place the blame on the both sides that we inherited. The executive were not in the interest of the country, undermine brought deals that were very terrible. We need to move from the regular royalty. We need to move from the regular royalty. We need to put in place measure where Liberia, we can nationalize some of the minerals, and when people come, they buy share in those companies, and we start to benefit from profit. So when we come here every day, just everyone corrupt, brother, let us be very objective. Let us discuss the issue and tell you where we are going. Stop this thing, and not politics, not campaign time. Time for campaign, you go look for, you sit down there, you talk all the things that you think and do in heaven. Let us focus on how we can change this country. And when your friends, the colleagues are out there working to change this country, don't bring a blanket statement to say, oh, everyone there, people they're fighting to change this country.
Well, thank you very much. It's been a great time on the show. We want to say, Lorena, you come on. We have to close the program at 7:30. You know that it's 12:20 a.m. in Liberia. Our sister Lorena has to leave. I want to say, Lorena, thank you very much for the beautiful show today. I appreciate you one to as always. You was very, very exceptional. To my brother, your first time on the show, Tamba, we say thank you. We hope you can come again. To the Honorable 40 Formula, we hope you have fun today. Not too much of, but let me leave that alone because my sister and that, yeah. Mommy, thank you, man. It was a great show. To all of our followers, thank you for sharing the show. Till we meet again tomorrow, same time, same station. Be blessed, be safe. Have a good night.
Thank you, Chief. Thank you, Senator.
Lorena, thank you. Take it away, Lorena. Thanks a lot.
Okay, sir. Good night. All right. So this is how we come to morning. Before we finish tonight. Get your information. It's going to be the presentation for the month of March. So many thanks to you for listening, for watching, for sharing. My name is Lorena.
Spunk wanna tell you what is happening in Liberia. Spunk wanna tell you what is happening in Morovia. Spunk wanna tell you what is happening in Africa.